Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rounds Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Today, we are going to be bringing you the Saitama Seibu Lions and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles from the rainy area in the Sendai region, as it is opening day for the Eagles. The first two games of the series were washed out, snowed out, however you want to put it. They weren't able to play the games as the weather was inclement. It is supposed to start off a little bit drizzly, which it is. And the weather is going to get itself better as it moves along. In other words, it's not going to be precipitating as much as we move along here later today. But for now, the start of the ball game is going to be played in some inclement weather. So we're going to give you, first of all, the starting lineup. It is the Saitama Seibu Lions, the last team standing that has not won a game in the NPB yet. Their lineup will begin with Shinya Hasegawa wearing number 63. He's in right field tonight. Batting second is the center fielder, number 51, Manaya Nishikawa. Hitting third at first base is number 26, Tyler Nevin. And the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 40, Leandro Cedeno, 44. And then you've got, in left field batting fifth, number 8, Seiya Watanabe. Hitting sixth and doing the catching is number 53, Shoya Makino. Batting in the seventh spot and playing third base is number 5, Shuta Tonosaki. Batting eighth at second base, wearing number 30, is Hiyu Moriyama. And batting ninth, the shortstop, wearing number 6, is Sosuke Genda. And taking to the hill tonight for the Tohoku Ball Club, it is going to be Takayuki Kishi, who makes his first start of the year, the veteran of many seasons in the NPB, getting the opening day home start for the Eagles this season. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Leading off and playing shortstop, wearing number 1, is the rookie Rui Muniyama. Batting second at second base, wearing number 0, is Hirota Kobakata. Batting third in right field, wearing number 51, is Yuya Ogo. Batting in the cleanup spot and in center field is number 8, Ryosuke Tatsumi. Batting fifth in left field, wearing number 4, is Toshiki Abe. Batting in the sixth spot and playing first base is number 3, Hideto Asumura. Batting seventh at third base is number 39, Yukiya Ito. Batting eighth, and as the designated hitter tonight, is number 23, Mikhail Franco. And batting ninth is the catcher, number 70, Tsuyoshi Ishihara. And they're going to be facing Taiga Ueda, who is making his first appearance of the 2025 season for the Lions here tonight. Your ball game is a couple of minutes away. We appreciate you guys for listening live or on delay. We're going to be back in just a couple moments with the first pitch. Hang tight, everybody. It is opening day in Tohoku. It is Eagles and Lions. We'll be back after this.
Thank you for that introduction, Freddie. Hey guys, Steve coming back at you today, and every day is opening day on my channel. I open everything from hot sauce to beer to deviled eggs to Kansas soup to ravioli to sport card packs like you wouldn't believe. I open blasters of stuff. I open regular boxes of stuff. Speaking of hot sauce, I open hot sauce, which is often gifted to me from the community. I have it all. I open up Star Wars by the tons, including the Family Guy Star Wars. I have a bunch of wrestling that I do open. And I do non-sport cards like crazy. As you can see, we have it all. I even open Marvel. Tons and tons of Marvel cards. But you never know, on my channel, you just may have a little trouble with tribbles, too. Remember, opening day, every day. Thank you, Freddie. See you in Funny Pages, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. The cherry blossoms are out. The rain is a cometh, but baseball is just around the corner, as it is going to be the Saitama Seibu Lions against the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. This ball game here tonight, as we said, the Lions have not won a game yet this season. They were 0-3 as they dropped their first 3 games of the season at home. Unfortunately for them, as they had dropped each and every one of them in a series against the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. And now, of course, they are looking for their first win of the year. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, they have 1 win on the season, and they are just slightly ahead of them here. We last night called the game between the Buffaloes and the Marines. And at the conclusion of this game here tonight, depending upon how this one will go, we are more than likely going to jump over and give you some action at the end of that game as well, as it is expected that those two teams will wrap up. I'm not sure if we'll stay with the whole game or not, depending what the score is. Last night's game was pretty entertaining. We were able to watch that game. It was a 3-2 game, and the Marines had suffered their first loss of the season at the hands of the Buffaloes. But if it is entertaining and it is close, if it's not a blowout, we will do a little diamond surfing at the end of this one and give you guys some updates there as well. The Eagles are taking to the field. They're throwing some baseballs into the stands to their supporters. We are a couple moments from getting this one underway here in just a few. So it's not the top of the hour as we usually have it, as the players are taking the field, signing their autographs for the young fans. The cheerleaders are out there with them. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Takayuki Kishi is just on his way out to the hill as the first pitch has been completed and the lineup cards have been exchanged. The autographs have been signed and the national anthem has been sung. We're about a minute or so from the first pitch. We'll be right back after this. With all the action, it is Lions and Eagles when we return. Welcome back, everybody. Takayuki Kishi on the hill, completing his warm-up tosses, making his season debut here for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. For Takayuki Kishi, he is coming off a 2024 campaign where he was 6-11. He had 3 complete games in those 22 starts that he had made. Worked 143 in the third innings, allowed 144 hits, walked 29, and struck out 73. And posted an earned run average of 283. The veteran right-hander joined the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles back in 2017. He originally was with the Saitama Seibu Lions, as he is a graduate of the College of Working Adult. I think that's what they refer to that as. So here we go as the first pitch is underway at 1:05 local time. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside to Shinya Hasegawa. Hasegawa, Nishikawa, and Nevin to bat here against the right-hander Kishi, as the right-hander rocks into the windup and delivers. It is another fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-0. So curious to see how the weather will play out here. It is rainy, it is cold, it is a miserable day, but it is baseball, so it's always a good day. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball taken for a call and strike. The count now goes to 2-1 on Hasegawa. Hasegawa 2 for 13 on the season. He's got no homers and no runs batted in yet. As the right-hander Kishi delivers, it is a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul into the seats down the first base line. The count now goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander Kishi rocking into the windup, hesitates and delivers. There is a breaking ball that Hasegawa checks his swing on and fouls it away, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kishi gets himself a new baseball as he rocks himself into the delivery, and he kicks and fires. Fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Hasegawa, he stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by. He's gone for out number 1. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Manaya Nishikawa. I don't always mention it. The home plate umpire for tonight's game, as we go look here, is the umpire is Shikita behind the plate. If you ever get a chance to look on Instagram, he has some of the best called third strike calls in all of baseball anywhere in the world. There's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike, as Nishikawa is now in the hole at 0-1. 5 for 13 on the season, batting .385, swings at a fastball, and he grounds that one up the middle into center field. And Nishikawa's hot hitting continues as he's got himself a 1-out single here in the top of the first. And that is going to bring up the American Tyler Nevin. Well, for Nevin, he's off to a pretty good start with the Lions. He's 4 for 12 in his first 3 games. As we had noted in the offseason, they had brought him in as a outfielder, or they list him as an outfielder. But this is the 4th game, and he has started all 4 games at first base. Big league level, he played a lot of third base last year. It was with the Oakland A's organization. He can play first. He can play in the outfield. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. Now, of course, with the way that Watanabe is swinging the bat, the center fielder Nishikawa is swinging the bat, and Hasegawa, once he gets going, they can deploy Nevin as an infielder, which is probably where they need more help, as the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Nevin's father was one of the best players in all of college baseball. He was a Golden Spike winner. His dad was a pretty good player. I believe he was originally drafted by the Astros, ended up in the Tigers organization, and then bounced around the big leagues with a number of teams. He was a manager and a coach at the big league level. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into deep center field, but not deep enough. Moving back underneath it is the center fielder Tatsumi. He's there to make the catch. And Nevin's going to be gone for out number 2, and then Nishikawa will retreat to first base. So 2 gone here with the runner at first, and it's going to bring up the designated hitter, Leandro Cedeno. Well, for Cedeno, he is 2 for 9, no homers and a couple RBIs. Started the season 0 for 5 and was able to get off the schneid against the Fighters in that series. A lot of expectations here for the big fella. If both him and Nevin can be a good partnership in the middle of the order, take a lot of heat off of this ball club. So Cedeno waiting on the first offering, but instead Kishi throws over to first, and diving back in time safely is the runner Nishikawa. Defensively tonight for the Eagles, from left to right, Abe is in left. Center fielder is Tatsumi with the right fielder Ogo. Around the horn from first to third, Asamura is at first, Kobakata at second. Muniyama is the shortstop with the third baseman Ito, as that fastball misses outside for ball, and the count is 1-0. And the battery is Kishi and Ishihara. If you've never seen Ishihara, he projects as a modern day Alejandro Kirk, who is a Toronto Blue Jay player. Friend Brandon Jensen is in here. Don's Gallery is here as well. He says, are these teams high scoring? Never watched them before. As that pitch misses outside to Cedeno. The problem is that the Lions, our offense has been pretty impotent in the last couple of years. The Eagles can put up some runs at time, but they're a team in flux right now as they've had some changes. Some of their older players have moved on. As a breaking ball misses, it's now 3-0 to Cedeno. So I hope that answers your question. Ronald says, is this commentary streamed anywhere outside of YouTube? No, we just do it on YouTube. Our podcasts are on a number of different platforms, as there is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. The count now goes to 3-1. I try to keep up with the chat, and we will throughout the night here. And as I mentioned at the top of the stream, this game is the early game. And if this game finishes up early, we will try to bounce over and give you the rest of the Buffaloes and the Marines as best we can. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Cedeno. So 2 gone here in the top of the first inning. Runner is Nishikawa at first, 3-2 to Cedeno here. Runner will be on the move once Kishi kicks and delivers. Interesting, the first baseman, Asamura, not interested in holding the runner, so the runner's got himself a healthy lead. As the pitch is on the way, there goes the runner. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed. And Cedeno is in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. Second strikeout for Kishi here in inning number 1, and that will do it for the Lions. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Lions, no score, and the Eagles coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We have some people that are asking questions. We always try to engage with the chat when we return right after this. Thanks for stopping in and listening with us tonight.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. Taiga Ueda has completed his warm-up tosses, and we're ready to get this one underway. He'll be facing the top of the order in Muniyama, Kubakata, and Ogo. Taiga Ueda had 17 appearances last year for the Lions, and he had worked in 23 innings, mainly out of the bullpen, as he had himself a 2.7 ERA, walking 13 and strikeout 11. So it'll be interesting to see how he transitions into the starting role here. Rui Muniyama up at the plate. He swings at a first pitch breaking ball and fouls that one away. The count is 0-1. The rookie has taken over at shortstop. Murray Biashi, nowhere to be seen early on here. Muniyama 4 for 14 so far in the early going with no homers and an RBI. Pitch on the way is a fastball missing upstairs. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. All things considered, being the weather not being very good, a pretty good attendance here for tonight. Don says, why is this game so early compared to the others? Just curious. Games are more a little bit later as the 1-2 pitch is on the way. And it is a breaking ball that misses down in the dirt. The count goes to 2-2. This is or was supposed to be the opening day for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Of course, that was supposed to be on Tuesday. It got washed out. I say washed out because there has been snow in the area, or flurries. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2-2 to Muniyama. So they tried again yesterday, and it didn't work out because of the inclement weather. Here, it's supposed to start early drizzling, and that's supposed to, I don't want to say clear up, but it's supposed to stop the rain and just pretty much be cloudy the rest of the way. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Over to cut it off is the center fielder Nishikawa, and he's going to hold Muniyama to a single. So a leadoff single here for the Eagles in the bottom half of the first inning. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, Hiroto Kobakata. Brandon Jensen says, solid crowd considering the weather. Yeah, it's not bad. If you look down the baselines, they are struggling a little bit there. But for opening day, the supporter sections in the outfield is pretty decent. There's no really too many places to hide there. Not a lot of canopies or overhangs at this particular stadium. Kobakata bunts it. It's down the third base line. It's a good one. The throw to first is in time, as they're going to be able to retire him. He wasn't bunting for a sacrifice. He was looking to try to get himself on. Nice play there by the third baseman, Shudetone Saki, who had come in to field the ball and fire to first. So that's going to go as a sacrifice. It's going to be 5-3 on the putout. Kobakata in the books for the first out of the inning. Muniyama advances into scoring position, and that is going to bring Yuya Oga to the plate. Well, Yuya Ogo off to a great start this year. Both he and Ryosuke Tatsumi, who is the center fielder, played in all 143 games last year for the Golden Eagles. Really, the revolving door was left field. They had rotated a number of players through that position. As the right-hander Ueda holds the set, kicks and delivers. There's a fastball missing up and away for a ball. Count is 1-0. But to begin the year, Ogo 5 for 12 so far. No homers and 1 RBI. So off to a very productive start. Here comes the 1-0 as Ueda checks the runner at second. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count runs to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. As we mentioned earlier in the stream, the Lions are looking for their first win of the year. They were swept at home by the Fighters. They were off to a tragic start in the 2024 season, on pace to early on to lose 100-plus games, as there's a fastball swung on and missed. Count is now 2-1 to Ogo, but they had started to turn things around in the month of August, played pretty good in September, and they were able to avoid the triple-digit loss season, which is quite an accomplishment in not the best of ways, seeing that they play 19 less games than what they do in Major League Baseball. Easier to lose 100 games in the MLB than it is in the Japanese League. Got those 19 extra games in which they have to play. So the Lions hoping to find some offense. There's a fastball swung on it. It's fouled right back into the home plate umpire, and the count goes to 2-2. So Don's Gallery had asked the question earlier, can these teams score some runs? Well, the Lions, it's their pitching that is really solid. Their starting pitching is, for the most part, as deep as anybody's. Their bullpen is okay. They just can't score runs. And if they get into ball games, they're going to have to win it 3-2, 2-1, those type of things, because of their pitching is generally pretty good. But I'm interested to see how Ueda is going to do today. The 2-2 on the way, fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats behind home plate on the third base side. Keeps the count at 2-2 to Ogo. Ronald says, sorry for silly question. It's only the third time he's been able to be in the games. He says, are you in Japan? Are you providing commentary by watching a live feed? We're providing by watching a live feed. As the 2-2 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-2. Last couple of years when I've been in Japan, we've been able to get some footage and different stuff to incorporate into our feeds here. Christopher Deaton in the house here tonight. We welcome you as well. Thanks for popping back in, as he joined us last night. Distinctive by his Colorado Rocky logo. I think that's what that would be. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and fouled away, says the home plate umpire. So Ogo stays alive here at 3-2. We put up our game calls for the next couple of days. We're not going to be doing anything tomorrow night, but on the Saturday and Sunday games in Japan, which would be Friday and Saturday North American time, we'll be doing the Carp and the Bay Stars. As the 3-2 pitch is on the way, as he kicks and delivers, fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count remains at 3-2. Don says, how do you like Japan? Love it. A number of times. And being on the West Coast in North America allows me to jump over there fairly quickly, unlike living more back east where it used to be Europe and other places. A lot more easy. Very clean, very safe. That's the safest part. You can, if you got kids, you can let them go and explore, and you don't have to really worry about them. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on it, is popped up foul, giving chase All the way to the backstop is the catcher, Makino, but he's going to watch it sail into the seats, and it's going to keep the count at 3-2. So it's turned into quite the battle here with Yuya Ogo, as this is going to be a 10-pitch at bat. Ronald says Bauer this weekend. Bauer, unfortunately, was taken off the active roster because he had picked up a bit of an injury. They figure he's going to miss 1 or possibly 2 starts. So not sure what it was. They came out, it was, I think, the day after his start or 2 days after the start. And they don't usually like to disclose a lot of things. Sometimes they'll say things like lower body injury, like hockey would say in North America. Another breaking ball swung on, and another one lifted foul, and the count remains at 3-2. So Carp and Bay Stars are on our docket for the weekend here. We're going to try to do every game that Bauer does this year, if it means being up in the middle of the night to do it. But back to Don's original question, never been, but he's curious to go. Yeah, well worth it. And more so, I'll share some stuff with you here in a minute. We were talking a little bit about it during the stream last night as the 3-2 on the way is grounded right back to the pitcher. Checks the runner back to second. He throws to first. That was a nice play there by Ueda, really heads up. Ueda fielded the ball, looked right at the runner, Muniyama, who he thought he might wander off the bag a bit further. He was able to get back safely, and Ogo's in the books. A good bat by Ogo, taking him to 11 pitches. Ground out 1-3 if you're keeping score along with us for the second out. It'll bring up the center fielder, Ryosuke Tatsumi. But back to Don's original question about going, and we were talking about food. And for those of you who weren't with us last night, I was in Seattle for the Sunday game against Oakland, or I guess not Oakland anymore, the Athletics, as there was a fastball taken under the hands for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Tatsumi. Tatsumi 2 for 10 to start the year. No homers and no RBIs. Still has a chance with a runner in scoring position to get the Eagles out in front here, as the right-hander holds himself to the set. Checks the runner. And now delivers. There's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1. So I was talking, we're back to Don's gallery. Original question was about the games. And I was saying that when I was in Seattle this weekend, and then saw the Tigers on Monday, the prices of food, the prices for things were just off the charts. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over beyond the third base dugout. The count is 1-2. So to give you some perspective, and I'll compare it to Japan when I was there the last couple of years. The price of a ticket is probably half the price you would pay in Japan for a ticket to go see their game. And that's, proportional to where you're going to sit, maybe even less. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander checks the runner at second. Kicks and fires. There's another breaking ball swung on. This one is lifted down the left field line, giving chase, but Tonosaki's going to watch it just go over the netting. He's going to keep the count at 1-2. A slice of pizza at a Mariner game was $12.79. A coffee was $7. If you wanted a beer, it was $17. And a plate of nachos, which are a solid plate. Pulled pork, pulled chicken, beef nachos, loaded up with everything you can imagine for about $16. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Tatsumi. He's gone to the books for the third out of the inning, and it'll do it for the Eagles. I'll come back and talk food when we get back in the top of the second inning, and I'll tell you what you're going to pay in Japan for the same things when we return. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 1 complete inning. It is the Lions nothing and the Eagles nothing. Stay with us, everybody. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat to face Kishi. And the first pitch on the way to Seiya Watanabe is a fastball that misses outside for ball. The count is 1-0. Watanabe on the season off to a pretty good start. Rookie in left field again tonight for the Lions. Takes a fastball down and away. The count goes to 2-0. Watanabe is 5 for 11 to start the year. No homers and 1 RBI. As he waits on the offering from the veteran Kishi, who delivers a fastball, and that swung at and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is now 2-1. I was talking about food in the last half inning. We were chatting about the costs. So to put things in perspective, and we'll keep it in U.S. currency. So for $17 at a Mariner game, you can get a beer. As there's a fastball swung on it, is grounded to the right side. Kobakata moving into the shallow grass of right field, fields it, throws to first, and Watanabe is retired on a ground out 4-3. He's gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the catcher, Shoya Makino. Makino 0 for 3 on the season as he gets the start tonight. Yuya Koga not in the lineup. So for a beer, $17 at a Mariner game, and you're looking at 500 yen in Japan, which in American money is about $3.33. Fastball swung on it, is popped up over on the first base side. Giving chase is Asamura. He's got room and he hauls it in. And that is going to retire Makino on 1 pitch. So 2 away here quickly in the second inning for the Lions. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. And other meals, like when you think about it, yeah, you could get hot dogs. You could get different stuff at the games in Japan. One of the meals when I was in Saitama or to see the Seibu Lions, you can get rice, curry, chicken with onions for approximately about $7 US. That would be like a full plate of food. And of course, you got all your different options and stuff, but the beer prices are pretty much a standard across the league. Wherever you go, it's about $5 for a beer. Breaking ball catches the outside corner and it counts 0-1 to Tonosaki. Kishi back and delivers again. There's another fastball taken for a called strike. Tonosaki didn't like it. You could see the way that he backed up on that. But I have to tell you, just the movement on that pitch was filthy. A lot of backdoor run. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as Kishi kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and it's fouled straight back. And the count remains at 0-2. But one of the things that was also of note is when you go to the games, I've never been to a game in North America where they've run out of food, at least early in the season or in the middle of the season, maybe at the end of the season when the season's almost over. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count's 1-2. But in Japan, they don't freeze anything. They don't really want to refrigerate a whole lot. Everything is cooked fresh on the daily at the game. So if you're not get a certain food by the 5th or 6th inning, they run out and they'll say, we'll see you tomorrow because they don't have any left. That was the first time. Very fascinating that that's the approach. As there was a fastball swung on, it is lifted into right field, moving underneath it, now having to back up and making the catch is Ogo. That's going to retire Tonosaki as the Lions go quietly here in inning number 2. That is now 5 in a row set down by Kishi. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now moving to the bottom half of the second inning. Your score is Eagles nothing and the Lions nothing. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. We appreciate you for listening in here with us today on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Here's our buddy Steve. Be sure after the game, go check him out.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Ueda who has finished his warm-up tosses and we're ready to go back again for our second inning of work. It'll be Abe, Asamura, and Ito. Don says, how big a cultural difference is there? And is it welcoming? And being an American, I always wonder how we're perceived. I'll answer those questions as we move along here, but I'm just going to finish up on the food a little bit. So you could go to the games and it's just reasonable. It's everything that you would think you want it to be in North America. Kid-friendly, parent-friendly, economic-friendly, but maybe sometime it's not. First pitch fastball delivered to Abe, and it's taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1. Abe off to a good start this year. 5 for 9, no homers and a couple RBIs as the pitch is on the way. Fastball misses down, and the count goes even at 1-1. Cultural difference, big time. When you're on the subways, I mean, it's not big time, but it's not culture shock. There's just a lot more order and respect in the community as the breaking ball is taken for a called strike. It counts 1-2. You don't have to tell somebody when you're on the subway packed in like sardines that you can't talk on your phone. It's kind of understood. You don't talk on your phone. Put your phone on silence, and you don't have to listen to other people's conversations. As that breaking ball misses down and away, and the count's 2-2. It's certainly a lot quieter community than what we have in North America. We make a lot of noise with our cars, with our lawnmowers, and all that stuff. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and Abe is down on strikes. He's out for out number 1. So one gone here, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Asamura. So how big a cultural difference is there? You know, from that standpoint, if you could follow the rules and you pay attention and you're not obnoxious, then guess what? That's a great place to visit. If you are loud and obnoxious, it is a different story. There's a pitch that is a fastball down and swung on and missed by Asamura. Count is 0-1. Asamura off to a tough start this season, 2 for 10, batting an even 200. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it is a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count runs even at 1-1. And so it's pretty welcoming. They're very friendly. The people in Japan, they're curious. When you're in the major cities, a lot of English is spoken, so you can not have to know so much. As the pitch is a fastball swung on, it is golfed into left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit in front of Watanabe. So Asamura aboard, as he's got a 1-out single, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Yukiya Ito. So just a couple other things to think about as well is obviously the color of your skin is going to be a difference maker. They're going to know as soon as they see you that you're not Japanese, and that's not rocket science to figure that out. But ultimately, that is how I would also kind of convey that to you, so you know where you're at or where you stand. For the most part, with the exception of maybe in certain places like Kyoto or spots where we have heard there's been some scams, it's not really a scammy country. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Taxi cab scams to foreign tourists in Kyoto, giving them a bit of a black eye from what we understand these days. There's been reports of that. For the most part, pretty trusting, pretty easy country to get around. After the Second World War, as there's a fastball swung on, it's lifted foul on the first base side. The count is 0-2. They took a lot of English or a lot of the North American script off of the signage in Japan, as it was just the kanji or kanjai, I guess how you would say it. But in about the 80s or so, it started to come back, and you can navigate around both. You can read the signs, you can see different things. It's pretty easy to be able to read and understand. And they like to put a lot of North American words and things, even in their advertisements at games. Fastball that is missed outside. The count goes to 1-2 on Ito. Getting around fairly easy as well there, Don, so you'll be able to make that work. I was in the Asahi Brewery. I went up for a observation, had a beer, paid my entry fee, which was a beer to sit and look out, and on a beautiful day in Tokyo. And when I got back onto the elevator with some Japanese businessmen, they all got a big kick out of me because I was a full head taller than them. And I think a few people wanted to feel my arms. They wanted to see just how much my muscles were. Not a lot of muscles these days, but compared to those fellows, we had a lot. As that pitch is swung on and fouled away, the count remains at 1-2. Jimmy says, how much is your average ticket for a game in Japan? And I was mentioning before that the cheapest seats I had were probably about $650 when I saw the Carp and the Carp and the Giants were playing at the Osaka Dome or the Kyocera Dome in Osaka. As that fastball swung on and fouled away, counts 1-2. But I was sitting literally right under the scoreboard in left field. And then when I sat behind home plate in Kyoto to watch the Lions and the Buffaloes with the Horomoto Field, those were probably the best tickets I've ever had. I was like 15 rows behind home plate. And that particular ticket was about, I think it was around $35 US. Fastball swung on, popped up down the first base line. Giving chase is Nevin, and he's going to run out of real estate as that ball falls over the netting into the seats, and it keeps the count at 1-2 on Ito. So that just gives you some perspective there. Fernando Morales says he's going for Rakuten tonight. Well, that's who we made in our picks earlier today. We think the Golden Eagles are going to win this one, home opener. The delayed home opener, I should say. So hopefully that gives you some insight there, Dons. Yes. Something that you can think about as you move forward. There was a fastball swung on and lifted foul. Count remains at 1-2 to Ito. So this is a battle here. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. So already a quality at-bat. Already a couple of long at-bats here for Ueda. 38 pitches here for the right-hander, and there is one out here in the second innings. So it's not been an easy start for the right-hander here so far. Now time has been called as Ito has stepped out. He needs to adjust his jersey as he steps back in, ready to go again. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on, grounded, and it gets right through the third baseman, Tonosaki, into left field. I don't know how they're going to score it, but there it is. The big E comes up pretty quick. I was going to say, if they don't score that as an error, I don't know what is. As that ball gets through, Asamura is going to stop at second base. It's going to be runners at first and second here with one gone. That was a double play ball right there to end the inning, and Tonosaki got eaten up. Now it's going to bring up the designated hitter, Mikael Franco, with a chance to do some serious damage. Franco has had a good start to the year. He's 4 for 7 with no homers and 1 RBI. Fernando says, pretty cool info. Japan is a dream destination. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So Don says, I always hear Asia is way ahead of America tech-wise and how it's integrated in society, like futuristic. Have you noticed that, or is it true? Yeah, in some ways for sure. As there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. And I say this about North America. I say this about, a lot of countries from, Canada, United States, modern countries in North America, even in South America. The Asians, in terms of their technology, the use of it, the integration of it, we think we have a pretty good spot here. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. They are ahead. For example, like street signs, they've got electronic street signs. They can change directions, give you directions. Your subway systems, overall information structures, really cool. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander Ueda delivers. It's a fastball that misses down. Good stop there by the catcher Makino, and the count goes to 2-1. So yeah, when you have an opportunity, or if you ever get an opportunity to be able to travel to Asia, that's a wonderful experience. Not going to go there this year, though, and probably would advise a lot of people maybe to fade certain parts of Japan. To give you some perspective, the hotel costs in Osaka this year are through the roof because they're hosting the World's Fair. So from April till September, expect to pay an exorbitant amount. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field. Coming in underneath it, coming in a little bit more, is the center fielder Nishikawa. Makes the catch. None of the runners are able to advance, and Franco's gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it up to the catcher, Tsuyoshi Ishihara. And for Ishihara, this is going to be his first at-bats of the season. Last year when we were doing the games, we used to say he looked like a Japanese Alejandro Kirk. So take that for what it's worth. But if you put that picture in your mind, you know what his stature looks like at the plate. Bats from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Ueda. He does have an open stance, and the pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. He hit 171 last year with 4 homers and 13 RBIs, and 68 appearances for the Golden Eagles. It was really his first extended look behind the plate, and with the catcher Oda out with a broken finger, he's going to have an opportunity to have to play a little bit more here. Our friend Joe Mansman is in the house here tonight. We welcome you, Joe, as well. There's a breaking ball missing down, and the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So just some of that information, to think about and your travels. Cost of the hotels, really, really, really reasonable. 9 nights, you're looking at you can get a solid hotel for about $50 US a night with breakfast. Breaking ball that is taken for called strike is now 2-1 to Ishihara. We're not talking about a dump or a Roach Motel. I think about going down the I-5 from down to Portland or so, and you're lucky to get a hotel that's reasonable for $100, and I don't even know if it's a 2-star sometimes. Comfort Inn, those type of hotels, the Sleep Cheaps. 2-1 on the way. Breaking ball misses down. It's now 3-1 to Ishihara. But there was a chain, and you can look it up online. It's called the Toyoko Inn, Toyoko Inn. You get breakfast, you get the whole shebang, and you're basically paying about $50 a night. And I don't want to say I'm cheap, but I certainly am frugal, and you can really stretch your money in Japan at times. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. That was a late call from the home plate umpire. Now the count is full to Ishihara. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Runners at first and second are going to be on the move here with the pitch. Asamura, the runner at second. The runner at first is Ito. 2 gone here in the bottom half of the second inning. 48 pitches already delivered by Ueda. As the right-hander checks his side, he works himself at the belt. Here comes the 3-2. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on. Grounded over to the right side. Fielded by the second baseman, Motoyama. Throws to first, and that is going to do it. It's a ground out 4-3 to end the inning. And that will do it here for the Eagles in their half of the inning. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. Unable to take advantage of the error caused by the Lions. No runs, a hit. There was an error, and 2 left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the third inning. Your score is the Lions 0 and the Eagles 0. We're right back to where we started, and we'll be back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for being with us. We'll come back and answer some more questions after this. Hang tight, everybody. Here's our friend Steve again.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Appreciate you there, Steve. We'll be back in just a moment with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us here tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. If I get a chance tonight, we'll drop another one of our podcasts. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat here in inning number 3. That means Hyu Moriyama, Sosuke Genda, and the top of the order, Shinya Hasegawa, to face the right-hander Takayuki Kishi. Right now, if you're looking for my thoughts, I think the Lions pitcher is in trouble. Only 26 pitches through the first 2 innings for Kishi as he delivers a first pitch changeup that drops in for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Kishi does throw a pitchfork change, so you have to keep your eyes open for that sometimes. He delivers another one, and it's swung on. It's lifted into straightaway center field. Camping out underneath it is Tatsumi, and he's going to make the catch, and that's going to put Moriyama away for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away. That brings up the shortstop, Sosuke Genda. Dons asks if I've ever stayed in a hostel. I would personally say that the hostels are fairly cheap. They have some interesting type of hotels. I'll get to that in a minute. This is where it gets to be a little bit more than G-rated, maybe, in this one here, as the pitch is a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. I've never stayed in one, but they have love hotels in Japan all over the place. So you have to be careful when you're booking. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. Moving over to his left and making the catch is the right fielder Ogo. That is going to retire Genda for the second out of the end. Genda is 0 for 11 now to start the year after that line out. He's been a bit snake bitten, but you've got to say he hit that ball right on the screws. And that's going to bring up the top of the order in Shinya Hasegawa. But the love hotels, what they are, is you can rent them by the hour, by 3 hours, and they are what you think they are. But you can't bring hookers, but you can bring girlfriends or whatever else it might be. It's not that type of seedy establishment. Breaking ball misses down. Count is 1-0. And so if young people are living at home with their parents, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, or if you have your side piece on the side, that would be a spot that you can take your gal for lunch, so to speak. Or if you want to eat out, then you might want to take on one of those places, as that breaking ball misses down and away. So, but you do have to be careful if you ever are booking online at, say, Expedia or using one of the search engine type places. They do say it's adults only. As there's a fastball swung on, grounded to short, thrown to first, and that is going to retire Hasegawa on a ground out 6-3. And that is going to do it as he is in the books for the third out of the inning. And that is now 8 in a row retired by Kishi. We're moving to the bottom of the third. It is 0-0. Hang tight, you guys. We'll be back in a couple minutes, and I'll continue to share some of those other things with you as we are having some fun tonight. The Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is Rui Muniyama who will begin the third inning. And then it'll be Hirota Kobakata and Yuya Oga, the top 3 hitters in the Eagles batting order. As the first pitch is on the way, it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So that is the one. If you're talking about the stays in Japan, and the love hotels would be one place. Another place is capsule hotels. If you've remember the Seinfeld episode, as a breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes even at 1-1 to Muniyama. As the pitch, if you're old enough to remember the Seinfeld stuff, there's a breaking ball missing inside. And there were some Japanese tourists or businessmen that were over in New York, and they had stayed at Kramer's place, and he put him in his, I guess, his clothes cabinet, or whatever you want to call that, the dresser drawers. As that fastball swung on, it's lifted into left field, giving chase and making the catches Watanabe in foul territory. That's going to retire Muniyama for the first out of the inning. So one gone here, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Hirota Kobakata. And they were in the dressers sleeping like sausage rolls, and he would push them closed, and I guess they had the shower and then sealed it shut, and they had all kinds of problems. That was the comedy of it. But the capsule hotels are much like that, is that you would come in there, and it's like you just have a bed that pulls out of the wall, and you jump in it, you slide in, and then you go to sleep. As there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, count is 0-1. I don't even know if they have any showers there for you or not, as that breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Kobakata had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. He's officially does not have it at bat. 2 for 12 to begin the year for the diminutive second baseman of the Eagles. There's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. But they're relatively inexpensive as well. But as I say, you could get a really clean, neat place for, $50 to $60 US, and it's just incredible. So I'm not sure where your budget would take you, but for those prices, it's awesome. Our friend Joe says, don't any of these guys have any power? Not a lot of power. Breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and count goes to 2-2. Power is at a premium in the NPB. That is why they bring in the Latin players and the North American players to provide some juice in the middle of the order. There's a fastball swung on it. Has popped up just behind second base. Moving over behind is the shortstop, Genda, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Kobakata for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Inuya Ogo. Don says, you seem well-traveled. Where would you say your favorite place to visit is? Well, certainly Japan is at the top of the order. Lived in Europe and been all over Europe, so especially Western Europe. Probably in Europe, the best place would be Poland. I was really surprised by what they have to offer and how cheap it is. Old Eastern Europe. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1. Difference between the Czech Republic and Vienna, Austria, or in Austria, period. Just the cost. Being in the Czech is also very affordable. But we're going to get a chance to experience a couple other places this year. Taiwan is in the list at the end of August, and potentially Vietnam for 3 weeks at the end of the calendar year. So I'm interested to see what that place has to offer as well. No balls and 2 strikes to Ogo here, as Ueda rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ueda again rocking into the windup. He kicks, and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and this is hooked foul well into the seats down the right field line. And the count remains at 1-2. Ogo's last at bat was a bit of a marathon. It was an 11-pitch at bat before he grounded it back to the pitcher. So 63 pitches tonight delivered by Ueda, soon to be 64, and 16 of them, a quarter of them, have gone to Ogo. There is a breaking ball missing down, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Pitch on the way, breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the first base coach, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Brandon Jensen had pointed out, the crowd is decent despite the miserable conditions. And miserable conditions being rain and drizzle right now. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that bounces up to the plate. The count now goes to 3-2 on Ogo. So 3 balls, 2 strikes it is. Again, the right-hander Ueda checking his sign with his catcher. Holds himself at the belt, and he's ready to go. Rocking himself into the windup. He kicks, and he delivers. Breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. This ball could be trouble. Moving back on it is Watanabe, but he's going to be able to haul it in. The wind knocked it down. It looked like he had to get on his horse and get all the way to the wall, but the wind does its job, and Ogo is gone for the 3rd out of the inning. That was an inning that Ueda needed, as his pitch count is on the rise. A fly ball to left field to end it. They go in order to the Eagles. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. A third of the ball game is in the books. We are where we started. It is a 0-0 game. We'll be back in just a little bit. Keep chatting with our chat and keep giving you guys as much information as we can on this one here tonight. It is Eagles and Lions when we return. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kishi facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the batting order. 49 pitches for the right-hander through the first 3 innings. As our friend Tyler joins us, says we doing any games later tonight. As the first pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses down. We will join the Buffaloes and Marines game in progress, as their first pitch is about a minute or so away. When this game is over, as there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 1-1 to Nishikawa. Nishikawa has the only hit tonight so far for the Lions, as he had a single back in the first inning. As the 1-1 is on the way, it is a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. But nothing in the late category. We're not going to do anything tomorrow. Going to look to add the Tigers and the White Sox on Friday morning. We do some MLB games from time to time, so if you're at work and you want to tune in, be sure to put us on and listen away. It will be about 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern. And then we're going to be back on for the Carp and the Bay Stars on Friday and Saturday North American time. Those are the Saturday and Sunday games in Japan, as there's a fastball swung on. This ball's lifted into left field. And the entire offense revolves around Nishikawa, as he's going to pick up his second hit of the ball game, which also happens to be the second hit for the Lions. So a string of 9 in a row retired, or I should say 8 in a row retired by the starter Kishi has been broken. That's going to bring Tyler Nevin to the plate. Speaking of Tylers, Nevin is 4 for 13 on the season. He flew out to center field his first time up. It's so cold, he's got his neck guard, or whatever you want to call that thing, just up underneath his nose, peering out. 4 for 13 to start the year is Nevin. Had himself a pretty good spring. Led the exhibition season in RBIs. Runs batted in. As the right-hander Kishi delivers, there is a fastball that just misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, both Nevin and Cedeno really have to start feeding off one another here. And if they can do that for the Lions, they could be in some serious business. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, as it is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And as we said, just check the channel too as you see some of our updates. We'll be doing the games on the Saturday and Sunday games in Japan. We'll start to add some midweek games in as well. We said we're going to try to do the Bauer starts, but he was taken off the active roster. We figure he's going to miss 2 starts. Whether you love Trevor Bauer or you hate Trevor Bauer, you can't deny he's a pretty good pitcher, knowledgeable pitcher. And some people want to see him succeed. Some people want to see him fail. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's fun to watch him pitch. There's a breaking ball lifted into right field. Moving over and underneath it is the right fielder, Ogo, who makes the catch. That is going to retire Nevin for the first out of the inning. Well, one thing that frustrates me is when we were at the Mariner game the other day and I was watching the outfield, Victor Robles was playing right field. Julio Rodriguez was in center and Randy Arozarena was in left. We just saw that fly ball hit to the right fielder Ogo. Tatsumi was racing over to cover. We saw instances on multiple occasions that the Mariner outfield, if it was hit to one of the fielders, they didn't even move. And Victor Robles almost butchered a ball in right field, not because of lack of effort, as there was a fastball swung on by Cedeno. It's popped up into shallow right field. It's drifting over towards the stands, and it's just going to sail in there. As the second baseman Kobakata and the right fielder Ogo were converging. So no balls and 1 strike. But frustrating to watch the lack of effort by the Mariner outfielders to cover their teammates. On that fly ball that was hit to right field, Tatsumi was doing a good job getting in position that in the event there was a problem, he would have been there to be able to make the play. So here comes the 0-1 offering as Kishi kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that's down. A nice stop there by the catcher Ishihara, and the count runs even to 1-1 on Cedeno. Tyler says, yeah, he likes Bauer as well. So does Brandon Jensen. You know, and I think the thing is in America, we talk about giving people second chances. And I know Bauer certainly was not found guilty in a court of law. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is drilled into straightaway center field. Backing up on it is Tatsumi, but he's got room in front of the warning track. They'll bring that one in. And it's just going to be a long out for number 2 for Cedeno. That's 2 in the books. That's going to leave it all up to the left fielder, Seiya Watanabe. So if we genuinely believe in what we say, where people should get a second chance, I'm not sure that Bauer was squeaky clean. And, you know, what he does off the field and what he was accused of or what his accuser accused him of, those are whole other conversations. But he has to should be at least anointed the opportunity. But I think some of the stuff behind the scenes in terms of his own antics and his teammates and what they think of him or how they think of him, I also think may preclude him getting an opportunity. So here comes the first offering to Watanabe, but instead it's thrown over to first, and diving back in time is the base runner, Nishikawa. Tyler says, more than not found guilty, he was proven innocent. Yeah, pretty much. And that is the unfortunate part. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Now, I will say this. When you look at certain players across Major League Baseball and you look at these owners and they're investing in players, how does their behavior affect your franchise? So, you know, Bauer's a millionaire. Owners are billionaires. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count goes even to 1-1. So you got to ask yourself the question that you got millionaires and billionaires fighting over money. And in Bauer's case, how he represents himself by the teams is the question. And maybe some of these people don't feel that Bauer is a good representative of of the game. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep right center field, giving chase is Tatsumi. It's going to get down over his head, and it's going to get off the wall. Rounding third and scoring is going to be Nishikawa. Digging for third is Watanabe. He's going to slide in safely. I'm going to have to wait and see if that was a triple and an RBI, which it looks like it is, but we're going to look again at the ball. It looked like it may have hit almost as a ground rule double, but maybe the Eagles are not going to challenge that. Regardless, Watanabe's going to get himself a triple and an RBI. Nishikawa, all the way from first, will come in to score the first run of the game. So that is going to be the runner there. Thanks for stopping by, EB. We appreciate your support. As there's a breaking ball that misses down to Makino, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Don's asked the question, says, do these pay the same as Major League Baseball? The piece is, no, actually they don't. They don't pay the same. And part of it is that when you think about it, is that fastball misses upstairs, the count's 2-1. I'm all about paying players. Listen, people sometimes get upset at the players, and they say, oh, the players make too much money. Well, the owners make a lot of money. Players just want a piece of the action. The owners are going to be able to get what they can get, and the players want to get what they can get from the owners. Fastball on the way, it is fouled straight back, and the count is 2-2. When you think about people who are listening to our stream, if most people are employees, if you're an employee, don't you want to get the most you can get from your employer? If you're the owner, you want to make money. So that being said, in Japan, they don't charge as much for tickets. There's not as much advertising, not as much money put into the game as there is in North America, as there's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Count remains at 2-2. So in turn, you don't get as much revenue, and you don't get paid as much to play. So to put it in perspective, Tomoyuki Sagano, the Baltimore Orioles pitcher, he just wrapped up a 4-year, $40 million contract. He was one of the higher paid players, so $10 million a year. Pretty good money. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field. Coming in and over to it is the left fielder, Abe, and he's going to make the catch. That's going to do it. Makino's going to be gone for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the third out. But they do get on the board to the Lions. They got a RBI triple off the bat of Watanabe to bring home Nishikawa. So they had 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom half of the fourth. It is the Lions 1, the Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. Hey, where's ZB? Oh, yeah, I think he's gone. All right, we'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Eagles coming to bat in just a moment. Got ourselves a 1-0 ball game, and Brandon Jensen says he doesn't see an EB either. That's the way it goes sometimes. Life is a bit hard. We'll be right back in 35 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. Ryosuke Tatsumi steps in. He's 0 for 1 tonight, and the first pitch from Ueda on the way is a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. Tatsumi, 0 for 1 with the strikeout in the first inning, is 2 for 11 to start the year, as he takes a fastball on the outside corner, and it goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The right-hander again, rocking himself into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. There is a fastball swung on it. It's tap foul over on the first base side. The count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sometimes some of our friends who jump into the stream, they do like to put their nickels down on the games, and the first 5 is often something that is wagered on quite a bit in Japanese baseball, as there's a fastball that misses down. I know our friend Jimmy had asked some questions about stuff, and one of the things is that in the first 5 innings, usually the starting pitchers will still be in the game. It makes it a little easier to make your decisions on. There's a fastball swung on and tap foul behind home plate, and the count goes to Reigns at 2-2. I also think, in a lot of cases, with DraftKings and their influence on Major League Baseball, or at least now being a part of it, as the 2-2 is on the way, fastball swung on it is popped up into shallow left field. Wind is taking it now back a bit as Watanabe's going to make the catch, and that retires Tatsumi for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone. That'll bring up the left fielder in Toshiki Abe. So Abe is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out to begin the second inning. He is 5 for 10 on the early part of the season, getting the start in left field tonight. He's got no homers and a couple of runs batted in as the right-handed hitting left fielder of the Eagles gets himself set. Ueda rocks into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down and goes all the way to the backstop, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the 4th inning, Lions lead the Eagles 1-0. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field, moving back onto the warning track, up against the wall, and making the catch is the right fielder Hasegawa. He had to go back on that one. Not sure why he's wearing sunglasses in this particular weather, but he's got his sunglasses on. You would think that there'd be some water flying around. He's able to haul it in, so I guess stay hot, keep doing what you're doing. Puts 2 in the books, and that is going to bring up the first baseman in Hideto Asamura. Abe had hammered that ball the other way, and he just missed hitting that one out. So the first pitch on the way to Asamura is a fastball taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1. Asamura had a base hit his first time up. 1 for 1 tonight, 3 for 11 on the season, as it's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. Tyler says gambling has changed the entire landscape of professional sports in a lot of ways. Can't deny that, Tyler. You think about it, if you have an opener going in the first inning, and then you bring your starter in the second, third, fourth inning, fifth innings, just changes how things work. Or if you, maybe what teams will start doing is the 2-2 on the way. It's a fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. I'll come back with that thought because I think this inning is about to be over, as it is going to be hauled in by Nishikawa. That will do it as the Eagles go quietly here in their half of the 4th inning. Ueda, who started slowly, has gotten tough. That's 8 in a row retired by the right-hander. And we are now through 4 complete. Your score is the Lions 1 and the Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit. We appreciate you for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
We've got ourselves a scoreline of 1-0 for the Lions. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us tonight. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is a first pitch fastball delivered to Shuta Tonosaki, taken for a call and strike, and the count is 0-1. It is Tonosaki, Moriyama, and Genda, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Lions, to come to bat here against the Eagles. As that breaking ball misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Hollis talked to him earlier today. He was in San Diego with his wife and daughters, where he lives. He got to see the Padres get their 7th win. As there's a fastball swung on, it is lifted into the shallow right field. Coming hard is Tatsumi, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Tonosaki for the first out of the innings. So 1 gone here. And I'll bring up the second baseman in Moriyama. So for Moriyama, he is 0 for 1. He has flown to center. His only time up. Moriyama had himself a pretty good spring. Now he's getting the opportunity to get some playing time here in the early going for the Lions. He hasn't been able to take advantage quite yet. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Tyler says the Padres have been going crazy. Yeah, them and the Dodgers both undefeated. There's a breaking ball that drops in for another called strike, and the count goes to 0-2. Don says he won his first inning on unders, but betting has ruined how he has enjoyed sports. He takes breaks now. There's a fastball swung on his chopped right in front of home plate, fielded by the catcher, Ishihara, who then throws to first, and Moriyama is going to be gone. That was a swinging bunt almost. It's going to go down as a ground out. 2-3 on the putout. 2 gone here in the inning. It's going to leave it up to the shortstop, Sosuke Genda. Yeah, I think you have to play out with it from time to time. I mean, people do and stuff. I mean, it's just the way it is in sports, having fun with it. But there's fun, and then there's another extreme of it. You know, people like to gamble, or do you love to gamble? Fastball misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Genda. So 1 ball and no strikes. Genda looking for his first hit on the season. He's 0 for 11. Takes a fastball inside, and the count now goes to 2-0. I mean, there's just so much stuff that you can put money down on these days. And listen, the casinos are in business for a reason. They're in it to win it. As here comes the 2-0 offering, as it is a fastball that misses up. Don't forget to check out our daily picks. Try to pretty much make the picks daily. We missed the Tuesday games this week as we were out of town. We're probably going to miss the Tuesday games next week for the exact same reason. Going to be out of town again down in Seattle to see the Mariners play. As they got Houston coming in on Monday, as that fastball is taken for a called strike. It's now 3-1. They try to knock off a whole whack of MLB games in the month of April. Going to be seeing San Diego and Detroit in a couple of weeks' time. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Backpedaling, and underneath it is Tatsumi, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire the Lions here in their half of the 5th inning. Well, they go quietly and in order. 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score as we are moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is the Lions 1 and the Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few, as it is a 1-0 ball game for the Lions. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you guys for being here. It is going to be coming to bat here. The bottom third of the batting order, Ito, Franco, and Ishihara. As our friend DSMO for life has come in here. There was somebody in here earlier named EB who was wondering the same thing. I don't know whatever happened to him. Hopefully he was able to find something he likes. Well, if you're in the USA, want to cheer on your team, how do I do it? Well, you got to figure it out yourself, says Tyler. Yeah, sometimes if you've been around the stream long enough, there's enough information in our previous games that we often give out. Not every time, but you just have to be around to listen or replay it. As there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, count as 0-1. But I'll give you a few sites. I feel like I'm in a charitable mood tonight. Breaking ball misses down and away. So if you want to, the first one that you can go and check out is Amazon Prime Japan. Got to have a VPN, so you got to pay for that. Fastball swung on it is lifted into right center field. This ball is going to get over the glove of the center fielder, Nishikawa, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Digging for two is Ito, and he's going to get himself a lead-off double here to start the fifth inning. So the Golden Eagles looking to try to get back into this one here as they find themselves down 1-0. That'll bring Mikael Franco to the plate. So Amazon Japan or Amazon Prime, as I say, got to have a VPN to be able to do that. That's one piece. Another one that you could potentially have or to look at is Yahoo Japan. They play some games as well. Same deal. You got to have a VPN for that. Now, with Amazon Prime, you have to actually pay. You can get a 30-day trial, and then then you can go and do some things. J Sport will also carry games as the pitch is on the way. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. Again, you got to have a VPN and you got to get your wallet out because once you get your VPN, then you also have to pay for the services. No balls and one strike to Franco. So there's three of them for you, and you've got hats off to that if you need to do that. A lot of people, if they find the free feeds, then they join up with us, as the other stuff is usually in either Chinese or Japanese, as that breaking ball is taken for a called strike. The count's now 0-2 to Franco. Franco 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to center field his first time up. He is 4 for 8 on the season. As the right-hander Ueda holds set at the belt, checks the runner at second. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. And Franco stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched that one go by. He's in the books for out number 1, and that'll bring up the catcher in Tsuyoshi Ishihara. Yeah, so those are probably the best routes in which you can go. Then there's free routes, but you have to find some of that stuff on your own. We don't share the links through here. It gets us in trouble. Sometimes if it is, the people sync the games up, watch it, listen to us. So that breaking ball misses down, and the count now is quickly 1 ball and no strikes to Ishihara. Ishihara 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to second. These are his first at-bats, second game of the year, but first at-bats of the year. As the 1-0 on the way, it's a fastball swung on and it's fouled straight back, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The other thing is, too, is once you kind of get hooked into some of the things, I noticed last year when I was in Chiba, I had the game on my phone while I was watching the game live. It's about a 15-second delay between the game and the feed. And then if you're on YouTube listening to us, tack on another 7-second delay. It's about 22 seconds between real time and what we're giving it. There's a breaking ball that misses down. It's now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. Runner at second, Ito, 1 gone here, and the 2-1 pitch coming forth here to Ishihara. As Ueda kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. It's cued off the end of the bat, foul over on the first base side. Count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another one, too, and I can't remember who it was. I know when Alex is in here, he was in here last night for a little bit. Our friend Alex, who is in Washington, D.C., and we were talking about this a couple of years ago, that when you're listening to the games or watching the games, there were a couple of the casinos, online casinos, would actually broadcast the games through the feed. So if you were a member, you can actually watch through their stuff live. As that breaking ball missed outside, it's now 3-2 to Ishihara. I can't remember which ones. I wasn't a member of any of them. There was, I think, either Bet365 or Betway or something along those lines. If you were watching, if you were a member of their channel or member of the casino, you could actually watch the game live through their online gambling site. There's a breaking ball missing down and away. Ishihara is going to be aboard with a walk. And by our records, that's the first base on ball allowed tonight here by Ueda. Ueda, who we thought would be dead after 2 innings. He was at 49 pitches through 2. He's been able to hang in here so far. To get 5 out of him might be an accomplishment for the Lions. It's going to bring up the rookie Rui Munyama, the shortstop, who was 1 for 2 tonight. Munyama singled in the first, and he flew out to center in the third. 5 for 16 to start his NPB career. D. Webb is pulling for the Eagles to score. DAZN also used to cover the NPB up until a few years ago, but they are, I don't think they do much in the States. I know the DAZN does pick up games in Japan, but I don't think they do it in the United States. Fastball misses outside. Count is 1-0. Don's Gallery says, traveling so much, how do you adapt to every country's cuisine? There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-1. Don, I can pretty much eat anything. I just can't eat. I've had to go and avoid red meats, unfortunately, in the last few years. So I don't eat any lamb or beef. A little bit of pork is okay. Least favorite red meat. Don't eat any deer, but chicken, fish, all good. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul, turkey, ostrich. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Munyama here. So I've never seen a meal I didn't like, that's for sure. Probably going to have to do a little bit about that this year as well. Try to trim down a little bit. That'll be one of the goals. As we move into the warmer weather, no excuse. Tyler says, I can tell you Bet365 doesn't show. It might have been Betway. There's a fastball swung on it. His check swinged over the head of the shortstop, rounding third and heading home. And the throw to the plate is going to be in time, and they're going to nail Ito trying to score. What a throw from the left fielder, Watanabe, to nail the runner at the plate for the second out of the inning. Oh, boy, the Eagles look like they're going to open their account. So it's a base hit single here off the bat of Munyama. And trying to score from second, Ito, he gets gunned down. That's going to go into the books as a putout, 9-2 for the second out of the inning. I have to see if the runners ended up advancing on the throw. As we watch that one again, it was a great play. Had to be on the money. A nice tag applied by the catcher, Makino. And so our friend D. Webb, who was looking for a run, he's still looking for a run, unfortunately. And now we have a pride of Lions at the mound as Toyota, the pitching coach, has come out. Have a word or a pep talk with Ueda. It is runners at first and second as Munyama did not advance to third on the throw. That brings Hiroto Kobakata to the plate. Kobakata tonight officially 0 for 1. He's popped to short. He's had a sacrifice bunt. The runner at second, Munyama, runner at first, Ishihara. The Eagles are still threatening here, looking to try to even the score. 2 for 13 on the season for Kobakata. He takes a first pitch breaking ball that just misses down, I guess, because the home plate umpire said so. So 1 ball and no strikes. Kobakata waiting on the offering here from the right-hander as Ueda checks the side from his catcher, Makino, and he works set. 1-0 on the way. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the left side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the third baseman, Tonosaki. It blows back into fair territory, and he's able to make the catch. Oh boy, that was not easy. A lot of deep breaths there for the Lions, but that is going to do it here in the 5th inning. Lots of action here, and unfortunately, if you're an Eagle fan, you didn't get any points. There was no runs in the inning. There was 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. We are now what we like to call our Japanese halftime, and we are going to take a bit of a break. As usually, it's about 5 minutes in between the 5th and the 6th inning as they come out and work on the field, shoot off some fireworks, and do some other stuff. We've got a 1-0 game as we go to the top of the 6th inning. We appreciate you guys for being with us. We'll be back in just a bit. We'll put the music on loop. We'll see you on the back end. Welcome back, everybody. It is what we like to call Japanese halftime, and it is a 1-0 ball game for the Lions. They are just doing some repairs on the field. We'll be back with all the action in just a few. Appreciate you for listening in with us tonight. 1-0, as we say, Lions. We'll be back in just a couple moments. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. It is Takayuki Kishi who is warming up here to start the 6th inning as the Eagles find themselves down 1-0 here to the Lions as we are moving to the top of the 6th. Coming to bat for Saitama here in the top of the 6th inning will be Shinya Hasegawa, Manaya Nishikawa, and Tyler Nevin. 65 pitches so far for the right-hander through his 5 innings of work. He has been very effective, and unfortunately for him, in the 4th inning, wasn't able to get that 3rd and final out before Seiya Watanabe was able to triple home the only run of the game, as it is 1-0 here for the Lions. So it'll be Hasegawa, Nishikawa, and Nevin to come to bat here to start the inning as the right-hander rocks himself into the motion. And he kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Hasegawa. Hasegawa 0 for 2 tonight, struck out looking and grounded to short in his 2 trips to the plate. As there is a breaking ball that misses down in the way, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander Kishi rocking himself into the windup, and he delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander getting the sign from the catcher Ishihara, and he rocks into the delivery. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted foul down the right field line, and the count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lions looking for their first win. Eagles looking to get the win here in their belated home opener. Fastball swung on and it's checked foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. For those of you who are joining us, as we mentioned, we will be on the airwaves again on Friday night, Saturday night North American time. Fastball swung on, popped up into left center field. Moving over and over and over and over to get it is Ito. The wind just keeps carrying it. As it is, looks like the rain for the most part has stopped. But the wind here is in the area, and it's wreaking havoc with balls into the outfield. But it is going to be the left fielder Abe who was able to haul that one in for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the center fielder Manaya Nishikawa. Nishikawa has 2 hits tonight. And he has scored the only run for the Lions. Takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. The Lions tonight have 3 hits to their name, and 2 of them owned here by Nishikawa, as the pitch is a fastball that he check swing fouls away down the third baseline. Now the count goes to 0-2. I think he wishes he had that one back. So no balls, 2 strikes, as the right-hander again gets his sign, and he rocks himself into the windup. Here comes the pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into shallow left center field, but this time it's going to hang up enough for Abe to make the play. And that is going to retire Nishikawa for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. That's going to bring up the first baseman and Tyler Nevin. Well, for Nevin tonight, he is 0 for 2. He's flown to center and flown to right. 4 for 14 to start the season. Batting .286 with no homers and an RBI. He is the masked man. He's got his mask pulled up right over his face, and he hits this one on the screws right to the left fielder. So this is an inning for the left fielder, Abe. He makes all 3 of the putouts, and he makes it look easy here, as that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 6th. There was no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. Abe makes all the plays. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning, it is the Lions 1 and the Eagles no score. I have a feeling we're going to have a pitching change. Our friend Manny Mike is back. We appreciate you for popping in. He's got one of the coolest logos of anybody that comes in and listens. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. There is a pitching change for the Lions. We'll get that for you when we return in about 30 seconds. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the left-hander Shinosuke Hata coming on in relief. We saw him make his debut, or make a pitching debut, the other day for the Lions, or season debut, I guess I should say. And it was a pretty impressive one nonetheless. So he is going to be taking over here. So Hata on in relief, as he is going to be taking over. So on the season, it's his second appearance. He pitched 1 inning. He had 1 strikeout and he drilled a batter. So he had faced 4 batters in the inning. So he's going to be facing Ogo, Tatsumi, and Abe here. 2 of the first 3 are left-handed sticks. So that is kind of obvious. Our friend Don says, is there any way we can donate to the live stream? Well, we got our wrist slap back in October through YouTube, as we were using some content, Major League Baseball content, that we weren't putting enough of our own content into. So we lost our monetization, but we'll be back here probably in another couple of weeks, I would think. Breaking Ball misses down and away, but we do have a PayPal donation piece on our description page. If you feel so generous to want to do that, we appreciate that. Not necessary, but if you'd like to, that's great too. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count's 1-1. Jay comes in and says, Chiraboga, if I don't know if I've said that right, 23, says game going under or over. Well, the way it's going right now, under is probably the safe bet. Once we get into the bullpens, anything can happen, as that breaking ball misses inside. Count goes to 2-1. It's sure looking like an under here tonight. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Ogo. Tyler begging for some runs. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 3-1. The other game we're keeping an eye on is in the 3rd inning between the Marines and the Buffaloes, and they're having problems scoring as well. It's 0-0 there. As we said, if this game cleans up early and the other game's competitive, we'll go over and do a diamond surf for you and call some of that before the end of the night, as that pitch is taken for a fastball, and the count is 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ogo. Ogo really holds the bat up high, just above his ears, and then he gets himself into that position. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. And that drives me insane as a coach or as a manager, when you have to watch your pitchers who are left-handed can't get left-handed batters out. Free pass to the first lefty that he faces. Now that's going to bring Ryosuke Tatsumi to the plate. For Tatsumi, he's 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and flown to left in his 2 trips here against the Lions pitching. But as we said, he is now facing Hata for the first time here. Lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses down and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Tatsumi waggling the bat here, waiting on the offering from the lefty reliever of the Lions. There's a fastball that swung on it. It's going to be lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the left field line, and the count now runs even at 1-1 on Tatsumi. Based on the pitch count by Kishi, I would expect him to be around for a little bit longer. In fact, I might even say that he might even get through 7 or even 8 innings, depending upon where his count is at. Here comes the 1-1. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded past the diving second baseman into right field. It was Motoyama had the range to his left, and he dove as he was in double play depth. he would have been in normal depth, it probably would have been a play he could have made, but that's going to put Eagles at first and second here with nobody out. It's going to bring Toshiki Abe to the plate. For Abe tonight, he is 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown out to right. So we'll see if the Eagles manager, Mickey, is going to be putting on a bunt here. Tyler Nevin is right up on the grass. So Abe coming to the plate. As the lefty is ready to go as he works himself to the set. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that is taken up and away, and the count goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. We are in the bottom half of inning number 6. It's a 1-0 lead for the Lions. 1-3-1 for the Lions is their line score. 0-4-0 for the Eagles. As the lefty had it behind in the count, holds and now delivers. There's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count goes to 2-0. Well, the way things are going here right now, Hada is getting himself into a whole host of trouble. Maybe the Lions might want to consider getting somebody up in the bullpen, as he is having some difficulties throwing strikes. 11 pitches, and he has only thrown 4 strikes here. Rodrigo Garza says over. There's a fastball swung on. This is hammered down the right field line into the right field corner. It's going to be extra bases. That's going to get a run in. Ogo's come around to score. The throw in takes Nevin up the line. He's able to cut it off. Stopping at third is going to be Tatsumi. It's going to be an RBI double here off the bat of Abe. So he is cashed in the first run. He's having himself quite the 6th inning. He made all the defensive putouts. And now he has driven in the run, and they're still in a lot of trouble are the Lions, as there's runners in scoring position at second and third with nobody out. And it's going to bring up the dangerous Hideto Asamura to the plate. Our friend Tyler Hall in here, he says $100 on the late night Lions. Oh boy. I don't know, Tyler. I think you might want to take that $100 and buy a couple of 40s a Crown Royal or something, because I'm not sure that might work. Abe with a RBI double here to make the scoreline 1-1. And Asamura here. Tyler said his girl just heard you say that. Yeah, well, okay, 2 bottles maybe of Bailey's instead. So Asamura at the plate, and he swings, and the bat is broken in half, and the ball is going to loop over the head of the first baseman, Nevin, as it goes off his glove into right field. And that's going to get down for a base hit. He's going to get himself an RBI. Oh, boy, Nevin's going to be upset with himself. Stopping at third is Abe, as Tatsumi comes around to score the second run here on an RBI single off of Asamura. That bat just blew up in his hands. Nevin will be disappointed because it was a tough play. We'll see that one again. He took the swing, and the barrel of the bat went beyond the pitcher, and then Nevin couldn't make the play. It would have been a difficult play to make at the best of times. He tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch with his hand turned around the other way. That ball ends up getting down. That's going to put runners at the corners with nobody out, and the Eagles are now enjoying a 2-1 lead here. Tyler says he steps away and the Eagles get in business. Well, maybe stay away a little longer, Tyler. We get a few more runs. Well, that brings up to the plate Yukiya Ito. Ito tonight is officially 1 for 2. He's got a double. He has reached on an error, and he was gunned down at the plate, trying to score from second in the 5th inning here. Looks like we have a pinch runner for Abe. We'll have to get that for you, as he has taken over the running duties, as there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. It is Kaz Tanaka who is in to run for Abe. So Tanaka in, and more likely will stay in the game and play in left field. So 1 ball and no strikes to Ito, and you would have to think that this has got to be Hada's last guy if he can't get him out. Pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Tyler, we're glad that you can make it in here. Appreciate you for jumping in. We have a good time in the stream, and hopefully you have a good time in here with us. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-1. It's EI. Not that way there. So EI. Tyler says, do we have a Discord? No, we got a Facebook page. That's about it. Or maybe it's Tyler asking Tyler. We're not sure. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses down. That was at 95. It's now 3-1 here to Ito. So we got runners at the corners. Tanaka's on third. Asamura's on first. 2 runs are already across the board for the Eagles. Eagles fans are in a frenzy now here on opening day in Tohoku. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike to Ito. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball, waved out and missed, and that's now 3-2. The Facebook group is NPB Japan Baseball Report is where it is. We'll run the 30-second tab for you, the in-between, and you can go and take a look. So if you want to go and join, we also are there as well. We're starting to get our group a little bit larger. We just started it a couple of weeks ago. I think we don't have double-digit members yet, but we'll get there. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled straight back. Count remains at 3-2. They can also go there. We really don't do a whole lot on the main Facebook page. It just sort of exists in cyberspace. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Ito. As he's batting with runners on the corners and nobody out. This is going to be the 20th pitch of the inning already delivered by Hada. He kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, chopped over to the right side. That's going to get a run in. And it's not going to, is it going to get somebody out? Nobody out. Tyler Nevin came in and made the play. He couldn't throw the ball to the plate. His momentum was taking him to third. And then he had to fire back toward first base, where the second baseman was over and covering. Moriyama was there, but it wasn't in time to throw to retire the out. It's going to go down as an infield single for Ito. He's got himself a wry smirk on his face. Safe at second is Asamura. But the Eagles have cashed in their 3rd run of the inning on a RBI single off the bat of Ito. And we're going to have a conference on the mound here as they're going to come out and talk to Hada. I don't know if they're coming to get the ball yet from him or not, but I do have a feeling that is going to be the end of the ropes here. Although it's interesting, it's the manager who has come out to talk to the young left-hander. And you don't always see that in the Japanese game. Sometimes it's the pitching coach who comes out and talks to the pitcher, and the manager just goes straight to the umpire. But the manager is out here to talk to his young left-hander. Pretty tough inning. You have to think that really the hardest hit ball was the Abe double. And that's been pretty much about it. That's going to be it for Hada. We're going to take a little time out. So if you want to look at the Facebook page, we'll be right back in just a second. This is what it is and where you can find it as you do your search on Facebook. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. It is Yuta Kuroki on in relief here as he's got runners at first and second and nobody out. A rough day at the office for Hada. It's going to bring Mikael Franco to the plate. 3-1 now for the Eagles here in the last half of the sixth inning, and they're not out of danger yet are the Lions. As the first pitch on the way to Franco is swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and one strike. We were saying before that the starting pitching for the Lions has been pretty good. Even last season was pretty good. The middle relief is a little bit dicey, but it's the fact that they can't score enough runs is the problem. And that is where they are going to get themselves. They can't hit themselves out of trouble. That breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 1-1 on Franco. Just a couple notes about Kuroki. Former fighter and Buffalo is making his second appearance this year. He has worked one inning, and it was a clean inning, nothing across the board. ERA is of 0. Only appeared in 2 games for the Fighters last year. Pitched in much more for the Buffaloes, as there's a fastball swung on it, has popped up into center field. Coming in on it is the center fielder, Nishikawa. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to retire Franco for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Tsuyoshi Ishihara. Well, if I had to make predictions, here is a double play candidate coming to the plate here, as Ishihara does not run particularly well. The big fella here is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to second, back in the second, and he walked in his 2 trips to the plate. So that is going to bring Ishihara to the dish here, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Tyler asked the question, anywhere we can watch and listen at the same time? Well, if your Japanese is good, you can listen, but not so much there. The watching portion, we just gave out some of that information a few innings ago as the pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Basically said there's a few options. You can look at Amazon Prime in Japan. That is the first one. But you got to have a VPN. You got to have a credit card. You can look at JSport. Same thing. Got to have a VPN. Have to have a credit card if you're not in Japan. As the 1-1 pitch is ready to come here to Ishihara. Again, the right-hander holds set. Kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and missed of the split finger variety. It's now 1-2 to the right-handed hitting catcher of the Eagles. Yahoo Japan, same deal. You can also watch the highlights over there as well. They have extended highlights on the daily. Talked about DAZN. DAZN in North America really doesn't do much anymore as far as I'm concerned. I think they had about 3 or 4 years ago. And then last year there was FTF. I think it was Friends to Friends used to do stuff. As that breaking ball misses down, it's now 2-2 to Ishihara. But I think a lot of that was on the delay, and we never really used that. There were some other folks that have asked us questions in the last couple of weeks of where else they might be able to do that. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As it's on its way, there's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into straightaway center field. Backing up underneath it is Nishikawa. He makes the grab, tagging at second, but retreating back to the bag will be Asamura. That's going to be the second out of the inning, and that is going to leave it all up to the top of the order in Rui Muniyama. Yeah, we can't, unfortunately, do streams. We'd be shut down in a heartbeat. Not only would we get a strike, we'd probably get a YouTube lifetime ban. So we don't do any of that stuff there, unfortunately. So that brings Muniyama to the plate. He is 2 for 3. He has 2 singles in 3 trips. He is 6 for 17 now on the season. Batting from the left side here. He's the 8th batter to come to the plate for the Eagles here in inning number 6. As the right-hander ready to go, there's a fastball swung on. It is sliced down the left field line. This could be trouble if it stays fair, and it's just going to land foul. Probably about 6 inches off the left field foul line. That's going to bring Maruyama all the way back to the plate with a long strike. As Tyler says, you can do some searches on the web, and we've given you some leads right there, and now you got to try to find a few more. So no balls and 1 strike to Maruyama as he stands in here waiting on the offering from the right-handed throwing Kuroki. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on, another ball hit down the left field line. It's slicing, but it's going to go further, this time into the netting down the left field line. And the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Tyler says, why limit it to YouTube? Because YouTube is where the nickels and dimes are at more so than anywhere else. That's just the way it goes. Don't really have a whole lot of interest in Instagram or these other places or Twitch or YouTube. We did some stuff on Twitch over the last couple of years, but some of the music that we had on YouTube wasn't allowed on Twitch, as that breaking ball is tap foul and the count remains at 0-2 to Maruyama. We have our following here. We have our audience, and that's good enough for us. And keeps everybody entertained, and we're entertained. So no balls and 2 strikes. As Maruyama battling here with the right-hander Kuroki. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball down. Count now goes to 1-2 on Maruyama. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. Started off with a lot of rain in this ball game, and then the rain has stopped. The cloud is what they had called for this afternoon in Tohoku, and that is what they've got. There's another breaking ball that misses down. Another good stop there by the catcher Makino. Runs the count to 2-2. There was a lot of talk about Maruyama as he was kind of the talk of the town of the exhibition season. Has pushed the shortstop from the previous campaign out of the way, and that would be Murabayashi. There's a ground ball chopped right back to the pitcher, fielded neatly by Kuroki. He's going to flip it to first on the run, and that is going to do it. It's going to go as a ground out 1-3 to end the inning. But there's been damage done, and lots of it here in inning number 6. The Eagles scored 3 times in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. So 3 runs, 4 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we now move to the top of the 7th. It is the Eagles 3 and the Lions 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in a bit. Out-of-town scoreboard, only one other game going on. Marines, Buffaloes, 0-0. We'll be back after this when we return. Appreciate you guys. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this little timeout. From our friend, Matt. We haven't heard a whole lot of tonight, but you're going to hear about him tonight right now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Takayuki Kishi back on the mound again, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside to Leandro Cedeno. It is the heart of the batting order here for the Lions to come to bat to face Kishi, as it is going to be 4, 5, and 6 here. So Cedeno, Watanabe, and Makino to face Kishi here in the 7th. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-1. Kishi started the inning at 75 pitches. He has been very economical here in this one, as the Lions have really struggled. He's in a pretty good rhythm right now, is the right-hander, as he rocks himself into the windup. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down. A nice stop there by the catcher, Ishihara, and it's now 2 balls and 1 strike. It is our classic Hollis. Makes with the channel nonetheless. Tyler, that we have some good fun. Our friend Steve has got a couple more coming up for us. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. Count is 3-1. Had to retire some of the Hollis commercials. I kept those 2 because those are my favorite ones. We had some other ones that he did. We have some other ones that Steve has done too. We've had to retire some of those. As the 3-1 is on the way, there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the line in right field, but it's going to slice into the seats, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. That is the way it goes sometimes. We have a little bit of fun with the channel and don't take ourselves overly too serious. There's a fastball swung on by Cedeno. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Giving chase is the center fielder. Tatsumini is going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Cedeno for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up the left fielder, Seiya Watanabe. Well, for Watanabe, it was his triple back in the 4th inning that brought home the only run of the game so far for the Lions. He is 1 for 2 tonight, as the pitch is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. He is 6 for 13 to begin his NPB career. No homers and a couple RBIs. He's only 22 years old, but he looks like a grizzled veteran. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The right-hander Kishi ready to go back into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Still nothing between the Marines and the Buffaloes. And the 4th, there was a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Watanabe. Takayuki Kishi has been very, very difficult to face tonight. There's a fastball swung on, grounded to short. Muniyama fields it cleanly. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Watanabe. That goes in the books as a ground out, 4-3. So 2 up and 2 away here, and that is going to leave it up to the catcher, Shoya Makino. And for Makino, he's 0 for 2 tonight. He has popped to first and flown to left in his 2 trips to the plate. We're commenting in that 6th inning where Toshiki Abe had made all the plays in left field. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the left field line. The count is 0-1. He was productive tonight. He had 4 putouts defensively for the Eagles in this one. Yeah, Redbeard breaks. Well, it's been a couple of years running here. 1 ball and 1 strike. I know Jimmy has been able to do that, but more importantly, with Jimmy Redbeard, be kind of neat to see him do something for his Cincinnati Reds. There's a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. Not only is Jimmy's beard red, his team that he follows is red. The 1-2 pitch is ready to go as it's on its way. It's a fastball that just misses outside. The catcher Ishihara was ready to go to the dugout, but the home plate umpire wasn't buying what he was selling. He's going to run the count now to 2-2. Kishi has been really tough. He has retired 9 in a row. There's a ball that's chopped back to the pitcher. Let's make it 10 as he fields it and throws to first, and that is going to retire Makino. It's a ground out 1-3 to end the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the seventh. They go quietly. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are going to the bottom of the seventh inning. It is the Eagles 3, the Lions 1. Appreciate you guys for being with us. We'll be back in just a bit. Hang tight, everybody. Here's our friend Eric.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we'll be back in just a few after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters slated to come to bat here in the seventh inning for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. We missed out our opportunity for our take me out to the ball game, and we'll do that after the seventh inning, as we'll cue that up for you here. A little bit different. They released the balloons in Tohoku. Some of the teams are just starting to do that after the blip that we had there in 2020. As it is going to be a new right-hander on the mound here for the Lions. It's going to be number 36. This is Haruto Yamada, as he is taking over here. So Haruto Yamada, the fourth pitcher used by the Lions here tonight. Lions are still looking for their first win of the young season. And certainly after the exhibition season, you want to try to get yourself in a good mindset, at least out of the gate. And the Lions have been in tough as the Swallows have been in tough. Although those two ball clubs really struggle to get off the schneid. But the Lions are looking for their first win, and usually once you break the ice, it'll take the pressure off their backs. But if they end up losing here tonight, that'll be their fourth consecutive loss to start the season. So Kobakata standing in at the plate. He is officially 0 for 2 tonight, and he takes a first pitch fastball down and away, and the count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. Tyler says, tell that to the Braves. Yeah, the Braves have really stunk it up. Had an opportunity to beat the Dodgers tonight. We're up 5-3. They gave up a couple late, and then it was, I guess, Ohtani walked it off. Fastball swung on. This ball's lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit, as Kobakata has aboard with a leadoff single here to start the seventh. It's going to bring up Yuya Ogo to the plate. For Ogo tonight, he is officially 0 for 2. He's walked and scored a run. He's grounded to the pitcher. He has flown out to left in his other appearances. So 5 for 14 to start the year. But the first two at-bats, both marathon at-bats, 11 pitches in the first one, 8 pitches in the second. He really made the starter work, which was Ueda, but he drew the walk to get things going in the last half inning. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Ogo. Tyler says they've given up multiple leads this year. Pitching just seems lost out there. Yeah, their pitching is a bit in trouble. They're a little bit banged up. Once they get it going, they'll be okay, I would think. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. Certainly the Jerkson Profar debacle didn't help. He was a late free agent signing. Of course, the Braves signed him, and then he, of course, rewarded the Braves with a 80-game PED suspension. As far as I'm concerned, this is my personal belief on this. As the 1-1 is on the way, there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. A lot of these players who signed these big contracts, and I think Profar got a 3-year deal out of the Braves, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes I don't always side with the owners. I side with the players because owners are making billions, players are making millions. It's billionaires and millionaires fighting over dollars and cents. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-2. I often believe if a player pops positive for a performance-enhancing drug, that their contract should be null and void, or it could be null and void by the team. Because you think about it, you're getting a player who was putting up production numbers potentially with performance-enhancing drugs, as there's a breaking ball that swung on and fouled away. So maybe you're not getting the player that you thought you were getting. As that ball is grounded foul over on the third base side, the count remains at 2-2. So if you have a player in a situation like Profar who pops positive, the team has the opportunity to void the contract, say, sorry, you're gone. That to me makes a whole lot more sense than maybe what had happened to Trevor Bauer in his contract situation. Tyler says, I can't stand it when a player gets popped and only gets half a season. He gets half a season, but he also can't play in the playoffs from what we understand too. So he's getting half a season, but he's getting no postseason play. So the signing of Alec Verdugo maybe looks a whole lot better there for the Braves than maybe a couple of weeks ago. I think it was Verdugo they signed to a minor league deal. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ogo as the right-hander Yamada throws over to first again. Tyler says, so his value to the Braves has plummeted. Well, certainly his market. I mean, who's going to want him? You look at, maybe they can make a trade. Jimmy Feltner, I've got a trade for you. Noelvi Marte to the Braves and Profar to the Reds. 2 cheaters. As that fastball misses outside, it's now 3-2 to Ogo. Jimmy Redbeard, for those of you who don't know, is a fan of the Cincinnati Reds. And Noelvi Marte had popped positive last year. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded back to the pitcher. Oh, what a great play. Coming off the mound to the third base side, fielding it on the backhand, throwing it to first. Yamada able to make the play. That goes as a ground out 1-3. But advancing to second base will be Kobakata. He's in scoring position with 1 away, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Ryosuke Tatsumi. Tyler says if he's the Braves, I'm sending him to the Rays, Rockies, and A's. He was a Rocky a couple of years ago, though. So he's already done that tour. So this brings Tatsumi to the plate, and he pitches a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. One trade today that a lot of people maybe didn't hear about or didn't see, but Esteury Ruiz, who had 73 stolen bases 2 years ago for the Athletics, was quietly moved to the Dodgers today. So keep your eye on that move down the trail as that fastball is taken for a called strike. Ruiz last year was in a bit of the doghouse because he was actually wearing some of the paraphernalia for the supporting the Athletics not moving out of Oakland. Management saw that from him, and I think Brent Rooker was the other one, and they were kind of getting the gears a little bit as that fastball misses down and the count goes to 2-1. Certainly Ruiz felt the wrath of that. I know he didn't have a great year last year, but he wasn't very happy with that situation in Oakland. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 3-1. David Cito says, do you think Oryx wins again? Just check out our community page. If you look at our community page, we give you all of our picks every single day. And so with that being said, the answer for today with regards to that would be no. I think the Marines are going to win today. As that fastball swung on, it's grounded softly over to first. Nevin fields it and he steps on the bag. Tatsumi's going to be gone on a ground out to 3. Kobakata advances over to third. That's going to leave it all up to Kaz Tanaka. And for Tanaka, well, he came into the ball game. Oh, it looks like it's not going to be Kaz Tanaka. It looks like now we're going to get a pinch hitter for him. It's going to be Daichi Suzuki. We haven't seen Suzuki hit yet. So he is coming on to pinch hit here. Tanaka had come in to run for Abe. And then Suzuki now coming in to pinch hit for Tanaka. Left-handed hitting. Infielder for the Eagles is 2 for 5. No homers and 1 RBI on the season. So he bats from the left side here, and the first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Tyler Hall said they just shipped him off for nothing. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. They basically got nothing for him. There's a fastball that is swung on, grounded foul past the bag at first base, and the count now goes to 0-2. Tyler says, as an A's fan, that was annoying. Yeah, basically they got him for, I forget, I think it was a minor league pitcher or something came the other way. Extremely frustrating. Especially when you think about the year that he put up 2 years earlier, that they couldn't parlay him into something more than that, especially with these new rules. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to second, fielded neatly by Moriyama. He throws to first. That's going to retire Suzuki on a ground out 4-3. We missed our 7th inning stretch in the last half, but we'll do it between the 7th and the 8th. Looks like we may have a pitching change as well. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Everybody, time to stand up and break out your vocal cords. Time to sing along. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. The Eagles got changes all over the park. The most important one to start with is Sora Suzuki is going to be in the game as a reliever, left-handed reliever in the ball game, but they have a new left fielder, a new third baseman, a new catcher. It is changes all the way around, and we'll get those for you in a couple moments as they become available. More importantly, where are they going to hit in the batting order is equally as important as well. As it does look like that Oda is going behind the plate. You'll be a straight-up switch here for Ishihara as he takes over behind the dish. And it does look like the new left fielder is going to be Atsuki Muto. As the first pitch is a fastball delivered to Shuta Tonosaki, and it misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Or Atsuki Muto, I should say, is the new left fielder. He will bat in the place as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-1 strike to Tonosaki. He will take place for Ito in the ball game. Does Budo. And Daichi Suzuki, who came in to pinch hit for Tanaka, will stay in the game and play at third. So Sora Suzuki delivers a fastball that misses outside. And the count now goes to 2-1 on Tonosaki. Tonosaki tonight 0 for 2 in his 2 trips to the plate. Flown to center and flown to right. As the lefty Suzuki holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Count now goes to 3-1. We are in the top of the 8th inning as the Eagles are enjoying a 3-1 lead. The Lions are starting to run out of outs as we are getting into the deep water of the ball game. And if we do end up transferring over, which I have a feeling we're going to do, we're going to stay with you a little bit and give you some of that game between the Marines and the Buffaloes, which is locked at 0s. As there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and Tonosaki now has had the count run full at 3-2. We'll try to do a little bit of that for you guys, as we mentioned. Hopefully you guys can be able to join us for that. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the lefty delivers, it's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. It's going to bring the tying run to the plate as it'll bring up Hio Moriyama. So not the way you want to start with the relievers delivering a walk, especially to the leadoff hitter who hasn't done much this year at the plate. So Moriyama looking for his first hit of the year. He's currently 0 for 4. All right, it looks like we're going to have a pitch hitter. It's going to be Daiji Nomura actually coming in here. So late substitution. So that'll be the end of the night for Moriyama. So Daiji Nomura coming in. Nomura's 0 for 2 so far this season. He had a pretty good exhibition season, did Nomura. I would think he's going to stay in the game as well. He swings at a first pitch breaking ball and misses, and the count is 0-1. All about the opportunity. They got to find something. So no balls and 1 strike. As a reminder, we'll be back on the airwaves Friday and Saturday North American time. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow right center field, and it's going to drop down for a hit. Tatsumi had, what a play by Tatsumi. Ball had dropped down. It looked like he was going to catch it. Tonosaki got hung up between first and second. And it's going to end up being a fielder's choice as Tatsumi didn't catch the ball. He played it on the hop, and then he fired a dart to second base. And that is going to go down as a fielder's choice. And it's going to retire Tonosaki 9-6 on the fielder's choice for the first out of the inning. Nice job there by the center fielder to fake like he was going to catch the ball, and then he fired it into the shortstop for the first out of the inning. So I should say 8-6 on the putout. That is going to bring up the shortstop, Sosuke Genda. And the first pitch to Genda is a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul down the left field line, and the count is 0-1. Genda, left-handed hitting shortstop of the Lions, still looking for his first hit of the year. He is 0 for 12. There was a good time to get it. This would be the time. So the lefty Suzuki leans in, and he gets his sign as he works himself to the belt. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses way upstairs, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Genda. We're getting a little late in the ball game here. As we said, they are running out of outs, are the Lions. They've got a runner at first with 1 gone here as the lefty Suzuki works himself to the belt. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count goes to 1-2. Hey, I was thinking about the Eagles a couple of years ago when they had Yuki Matsui was the closer. They had Chihao Sung, who was kind of their 8th inning guy or 7th inning guy. He's out for quite some time. He ended up getting knee surgery just before the season started. I think he's out going to be like 4 or 5 months. He's going to miss most of the season. They also had another pitcher named Enraku who ended up getting gassed from the team. He's pitching in Mexico. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. That was pretty much the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning options for the Eagles. So you got after the 6th inning, if the Eagles had a lead, it was a pretty lockdown threesome. And here we are a couple years later, and none of those players are in the lineups for the Eagles. Matsui, of course, is with the Padres in Major League Baseball. And Raku's in Mexico, and you've got the mentioned Song is out with knee surgery for quite a while. There's a breaking ball missing outside. Count goes to 2-2. So it just goes to show you how quick that things can change. Our friend Tyler says, does Matsui still pitch for the Padres? Yes, he does. He had a pretty good spring training, and he's been off to a pretty good start for the 2025 campaign as well. There's a breaking ball that misses down. And so if you go and look at Yuki Matsui, his stats so far this year, he's off to a really, really, really hot start for the Padres. Of course, so are the Padres. He's appeared in 3 games, 3 1/3 innings. He has 7 strikeouts in that window of time as Suzuki throws over to first base and getting back easily in time as the runner Genda. He hasn't allowed a hit. He's walked 2, as we said, and struck out 7 has Matsui. So pretty good start to the season in San Diego as that fastball swung on and it's lifted foul into the seats. Count remains full to Genda. So Tyler says we answered his question with a little bit more information, I'm sure. Yeah, he's been really, really good. He had a pretty good spring as well. So lots of expected for him here this year. And you can think we're only 7 games deep, and he's appeared in 3 of them. There's a breaking ball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. So 2 walks to 3 of the batters that he's faced here, Suzuki has. He's got himself in a difficult situation because it's now the top of the order. Bottom part of the order has been set the table for Shinya Hasegawa. That's going to bring the pitching coach on a trot out of the Eagle dugout. So Hasegawa coming to bat here, but we're going to take a look here as Suzuki, 16 pitches here to the 3 batters he's faced, walking 2 of them and allowing 1 to reach on a fielder's choice. It's in the 5th inning. Marines and Buffaloes locked at 0s. That game is there. As we said, we made the pick. We figured the Marines are going to win that game. All the games in the Central League begin a little bit later. Tyler says 1 ground ball and a double play and you're clean. Yes, it is. Especially when you put yourself into this difficult situation. So here comes the first offering to Hasegawa. He delivers, and it's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Lions, as we said, are running out of outs. They've only got 5 outs to play with here to try to score some runs. But the Eagles' back end of their bullpen is about to be tested here. So no balls and 1 strike as Suzuki works himself to the belt. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball. Nice stop there by the catcher, Oda. 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Getting into the deep water here as it is late in the game. Lions are going to need some instant runs here. And I have a feeling if they're going to take the opportunity to get it, it's got to be here. As the 1-1 pitch is ready to come here to right-handed hitting Hasegawa. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. This game here has had a decent clip to it until the last couple innings, and then it's just sort of ran aground a bit. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Suzuki getting his sign from his catcher as he's ready to deliver to Hasegawa. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, lifted into right field. Moving toward the line is the right fielder, Ogo. He makes the catch. Tagging at second and heading to third is going to be Nomura. And that is going to put runners now at the corners with 2 gone. And it's going to bring up Manaya Nishikawa to the plate. Well, if you want somebody to come to the plate, Nishikawa has been swinging a hot stick. He's 2 for 3 tonight. He's got 2 singles. He scored the only Lions run. He's now 7 for 16 on the season. He is really seeing the ball well and putting the ball in play with authority. As he comes to bat here to face the lefty Suzuki. So a lefty-lefty matchup. First time we've seen a lefty today. And waiting on deck is Tyler Nevins, so they don't want to get to the American, that's for sure. So Nishikawa digs himself in and ready here on the offering from Suzuki. As Suzuki gets the sign from his catcher, Oda. Now he works himself to the belt. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball missing down and away, and the count is 1-0. That's another thing. Hard to always pitch from behind, and Suzuki has struggled here in this one. Not really throwing enough strikes. 21 pitches thus far, and 10 of them have been for balls. He's almost living at the 50% rule. 1-0 on the way, and it's a breaking ball. I'll take it for a called strike. Count now goes to 1-1. Tyler says he's got ice in his veins. Well, I don't know. Yeah, because he probably doesn't have any blood. If he doesn't have any blood, maybe he doesn't have a killer instinct. Suzuki here has been quite average so far tonight in this one. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as the lefty again works to the set. Now delivers. Fastball misses down. It's now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Trying to get their first one of the year are the Lions, and the Eagles trying to get a home victory here tonight in their home opener. So we said the first 2 games of this series postponed because of weather. We saw the weather here today. We thought, I don't know if they're going to get this in. There's a fastball swung on and it's fouled away over on the third base side. The count remains at 2-2 to Nishikawa. That's the way it goes sometimes. You get the way that the weather works out. Certainly not in the favor of the Lions here tonight. So runner at third is Nomura. The runner at first is Genda. There's 2 gone here. 25th pitch of the inning coming up here from Suzuki. Lefty-lefty matchup as we're ready to go here. Here comes the offering. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. Is grounded over to third. They go to second for the fielder's choice. Nice play there by Suzuki. That's going to retire Genda. It goes a fielder's choice 5-4 for the third out of the inning. Nishikawa is gone, and that will do it here for the inning-ending play. And that will be no runs in the inning. There were no hits, there were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is the Eagles 3 and the Lions 1. Hang with us, everybody. The bottom of the 8th is just around the corner. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. Our friend Jim Williams says, good day from Melbourne, Australia. We welcome you, and we welcome everybody else who is listening in here with us today. We'll be right back after this with all the action in just a few.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat for the Golden Eagles, Hideto Asamura. It's Suki Muto and Mikael Franco, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the batting order for the Eagles, as they are going to be facing a new right-hander for the Lions in Manuel Ramirez. Ramirez is making his second appearance for the Lions. He had worked in one ball game earlier this year, has a ERA of 0. This is his second appearance for the Lions in the 2025 campaign. While Asamura steps to the plate, he is 2 for 3 tonight. He is now 4 for 13 on the season, and he takes a fastball up and in for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I had to do a double take when I saw the lineup. Asamura hitting 6th. Normally he is a top of the order type hitter, but he is starting to get long in the tooth. Pitch on the way. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count goes even at 1-1. We saw Ramirez pitch the other day. Can't say I was overly impressed, but there is a lot of velocity and life in the arm. 1-1 on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. Count now goes to 2-1. Former Toronto Blue Jay and Miami Marlin. Tyler asked the question, what's our favorite beer? There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 3-1. A cold one would be one of our more favorite options. Not a huge beer drinker much anymore. Had a couple Pilsners this past weekend, which was kind of neat. Not usually much of a big drinker that way. Do like Strongbow. There's a fastball, especially in the summertime. Fastball swung on, fouled away by Asamura, and the count goes to 3-2, but that's more of a cider. Wintertime, it's Guinness, but I haven't really been doing a lot of that. All that stuff is in the rearview mirror in a lot of ways. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as Ramirez holds himself to the set position. And the 3-2 is on the way. There's a fastball swung on it. Is lifted into straightaway center field. Moving back on it and making the catch on the run at the edge of the warning track is the center fielder, Nishikawa. Asamura sent it for a ride, but right to the glove of the center fielder. He's in the books for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the batter, Atsuki Muto. We haven't seen Muto hit yet. This is going to be his first at bat. You do a double take to make sure it is going to be indeed him coming to the stick. That's exactly who it is. Muto had entered the ball game as a replacement for Tanaka. And the first pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball. It misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. It was Ito who had originally started in this spot. Then it was Muto had come in to replace him, and he went into left field. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into shallow left field, coming in hard, and it's going to drop in front of Watanabe. So a base hit here for Muto, as he's got himself a 1-out single. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Mikael Franco. Still no scoring in that game. Can't believe it, between the Marines and the Buffaloes. As we said, we'll stick around and try to give you a little bit of action in that game at the conclusion of this one. Have to see if we have the ability to catch up on some speed there to get you connected. So you can listen to the end of the Buffaloes and the Marines as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time as the base runner, Muto. Mikael Franco 0 for 3 tonight. He is 4 for 10 on the early part of the season. No homers and 1 RBI. Big fella digs in, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Ramirez. As Ramirez holds set, now delivers. There's a breaking ball down. The runner looked like he was taken off to go to second. And it looks like he's going to get in there safely at second base. So Muto is going to have a stolen base. That ball had bounced up to the plate. So Muto has got himself a stolen base. He's now in scoring position. That was a huge jump there by the left fielder of the Eagles. So Muto, the runner at second. It's 1 ball and no strikes to Franco. As the right-hander engages with the rubber. After Franco had asked for time, we're ready to go again. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander holds to the set, now delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. And looking up, and it's going to be off the wall. Watanabe fields it. He fires it back in, and that's going to get a run, and it's going to be an insurance run. Throwing into second base, and Franco is going to reach there safely. Wasn't pretty, but we may have to have a look at this one. Let's see if they're going to maybe go upstairs, or the Lions. Maybe not. Looks like he's going to be awarded a double. So an RBI double off the bat of Franco. That's going to increase the lead now to 4-1 here for the Eagles. And that is going to bring up the 9-hole hitter in Daichi Suzuki. Or is it? Sorry, that's going to bring up Oda to the plate. Suzuki's up a little further. If you see our stuff here, it's looking like a coloring book. Interesting the way that Franco had slid into second base. I don't know if they're going to challenge. Nope, nothing at all there. There's a first pitch breaking ball that misses outside to Oda. This is Oda's first at bat. He came in to replace Ishihara defensively in the 8th inning. Here comes the 1-0 offering as Ramirez kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes even to 1-1. So for the Eagles fans who are out here that are happy about that, pump a fist. You guys got a lot to be happy about. Three runs, 10 hits for the Eagles, no errors, 1-3 and 1 for the Lions. As that breaking ball misses, it's now 2 balls and 1 strike. As I said at the outset of the stream, the problem for the Lions is they can't hit. They can pitch, they just can't hit well enough, and they've only got 3 hits here tonight. And that is their Achilles heel, so to speak. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. As Ramirez delivers, there's a fastball that misses way upstairs. Count now goes to 3-1 on Oda. Waiting in the on-deck circle is the top of the order, Muniyama. And certainly in tonight's game, if you are a fan of the Eagles getting a home opener win, it's definitely a shot in the arm for Tohoku. So here comes the 3-1 offering as the right-hander again delivers a breaking ball that misses way outside. That's going to be ball 4. That's going to put runners at first and second. It's going to bring up the top of the order in Muniyama. And I would have to think that Ramirez is going to have to sort this himself out on his own. There's not a lot of hope. The catcher comes out to the mound to have a couple words. I wonder what can be said in this situation. I wonder how much English the catcher knows or how much Spanish he knows. And certainly Ramirez is probably got Spanish, but how much English does he know? We don't know. So I wonder how that conversation went down between the battery mates. So this brings Muniyama to the plate. He is 2 for 4. He's got a couple of singles and 4 trips. He is 6 for 18 on the season, hitting a cool .333. As he bats here with 1 gone and runners at first and second. As the right-hander holds set, now delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over into shallow left field, giving chase is Watanabe. He's up against the fence. Oh, what a nice catch that was. He's able to haul that one in. That's going to retire Muniyama for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it all up to the second baseman, Hirota Kobakata. Watanabe had to come a long way for it, had to brace himself against the wall, and he makes the grab. So Kobakata, who is 1 for 3 today, but looks like they're going to have a look at this one here. I think they're challenging it because I think they may have felt that the ball might have hit the netting on the way down. We're going to have to wait and see. We'll get a replay here, but Watanabe had made the catch, so they are going to go and look at the surveillance and the video replay, try to make that determination. So we'll hang in with you here. We haven't had any other camera angles to this point. Haven't had any other further information. Now we'll get a look at the replay ourselves. I don't know. That looked pretty clean. We get a different angle here. I don't know. I think that's a pretty good catch. I think they're going to come back and go up the right hand. I think the Lions are going to get that there. I think, if anything, give the pitcher time to think about a few more things out there on the mound. We'll wait and see what the officials say in a couple moments when they come back. That's the other thing. We talked about the replays. Here comes the officials, and they go up with the right hand. The play stands. So Muniyama is out. But if anything, the pitcher on the mound, Ramirez, has to stand out there and wait, breaks up his rhythm. That brings Hirota Kobakata to the plate. Kobakata is 1 for 3, and he's got a sacrifice bunt to his name in this one. So here comes the first offering to Kobakata as he bats from the left side against Ramirez. Now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is hooked foul into the seats well down the right field line. Count is quickly 0-1 to Kobakata. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander Ramirez holding set now delivers. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Ramirez, not as sharp as we would, or I think as the Lions fans would hope. He's already thrown 18 pitches here in the inning. It's the 6th batter that he's having to face. Right-hander works himself to the set. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 1-2 on Kobakata. If you're just joining us, we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Eagles have just taken a 4-1 lead over the Lions. They've got runners at first and second with 2 gone. It's a 1-2 count here to Kobakata as Ramirez holds himself to the set position. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball missing way outside. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-handed pitcher Ramirez working himself to the set. Kobakata waiting here on the offering. As the pitch on the way as a fastball swung on, it is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. Picking it up and firing it back in is the right fielder. That would be Hasegawa, but stopping at third is going to be Franco. Not going to challenge the arm of the right fielder. Stopping at second is Oda. It's a base hit single here for Kobakata. That's going to bring up the 3-hole hitter in Yuya Ogo to the plate. Our friends, Tyler says the Marines are selling his bag. Looks like it's a 1-0 lead now for the Buffaloes. Still a lot of time to be played there. The Buffaloes bullpen might be the problem. Hey, there's a ghost sighting. Says, what's the score? Well, the ticker across the bottom, we update at the end of each half inning. Tyler says it's now 2-0 for the Buffaloes. Joining us here, it's 4-1 for the Eagles. Bases are full. 2 gone. Here's the pitch from Ramirez. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So Ogo ahead, or behind in the count here as the right-hander ready to go again. As the pitch from Ramirez is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Ogo 0 for 3 tonight. He's walked and scored a run. Scored the first run of the 6th inning and the first run of the ball game for the Eagles. 5 for 15 on the season for the left-handed hitting right fielder of the Tohoku Ball Club. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, chopped right in front of home plate. Fielded by the catcher who stepped on the plate looking for the final out, but the home plate umpire has ruled it a foul ball. So the count now goes to 1-2 on Ogo. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'm not so sure about that one. I saw that on the replay there. I thought he might have got the ball in fair territory. Not according to the home plate umpire, but he's the one that really matters. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander Ramirez holds set. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball down. They say that he has gone around. The catcher picks it up and steps on the plate. And that is going to do it. So it's going to be a strikeout. And the putout is going to be to the catcher. It'll actually be the final putout will be the runner going from third to home. That would be Franco. He's going to be gone for out number 3, and that will do it here in the 8th inning for the Eagles. Well, they get a run in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was 1 run on 3 hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the top of the 9th inning. It is the Eagles 4 and the Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us. Top of the 9th, We're coming up here in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the closer, Takahiro Norimoto, who is coming into the ball game, as he is going to be replacing Sora Suzuki. Be the third pitcher used tonight by the Golden Eagles. So Takahiro Norimoto on in relief, as he will be facing the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Lions. It'll be Tyler Nevin, Leandro Cedeno, and Seiya Watanabe, as he is ready to face them here. Norimoto, longtime starter, turned closer last year, and this here is kind of reminds me of John Schmaltz in the Major League Baseball, where he had himself a surgery, came back as a closer, and then went back to start again. So here comes the first offering as it's on the way. It's a fastball that just misses it upstairs to Nevin, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Don's asked the question, how many innings? Maximum of 3 innings. Could go to 12 innings if it went extra innings. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. Count is 1-1, and after that it's a draw. There is no ghost runner like you would see in North America. So that is out the door. Kind of like that. Fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2 on Nevin. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Only 3 hits tonight for the Lions, and Manaya Nishikawa has 2 of them. The other one belongs to Seiya Watanabe, who tripled home Nishikawa in the 4th. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on, grounded to the right side. Fielded by Kobakata. He throws to first, as it is Asamura stepping on the bag, and that will do it for Nevin. He's in the books for a ground out to 3 for the first out of the inning. As we said, the Lions are running out of outs. They need some base runners here. It's going to bring Leandro Cedeno to the plate. And for Cedeno, well, he is officially 0 for 3 in this one. As he has flown out twice to center field and struck out. As the first pitch is on the way, it's a slow breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Cedeno. Cedeno 2 for 12 to start the campaign. He does have it in him. He can carry the mail here a little bit, and they're going to need him, the Lions. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded foul over on the first base, or the third base side. The count goes even to 1-1. 4-1, Eagles have the lead here in the top of inning number 9, looking to win their home opener. Lions still looking for their first win of the season. As the 1-1 pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cedeno. And the right-hander rocking himself into the windup as he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses up and away. Count now goes 2-2 to Cedeno. I would anticipate he's going to get a steady diet of slop here the rest of this at bat. might have been the best fastball you would have seen, is that one up and away. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball there. Ooh, maybe a mistake pitch by Norimoto, as that is swung on and fouled away, and the count now remains at 2-2. He does have a pretty good fastball as the right-hander, but certainly 2 balls and 2 strikes here. I would think that Cedeno, who has struggled with the breaking balls, would get one here. And there's a breaking ball swung on, rolled over to short, fielded neatly by the shortstop Muniyama, who throws to first. That's going to retire Cedeno, and now they are down to their final out are the Lions. So 2 gone here as Watanabe strides to the plate. The rookie tonight is 1 for 3. He's driven home the only run for the Lions so far. It is 6 for 14 on the season for the right-handed hitting left fielder of the Lions. As he rocks into the windup and delivers, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Now be waiting on the offering, and the pitch is on the way. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled straight back, and the count goes to 0-2. Now the Lions are down to their final strike. So I guess a couple of things are going to happen here. Either we're going to see the greatest comeback of the Lions 2025 season, or the Eagles are going to close it out here shortly. Norimoto gets his sign. He nods in agreement. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses outside. The count goes to 1-2. Kevin Newman says, if the Lions strike out, is the game over? You got it. 100%. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Tyler says he's looking forward to the ending of the Marines Buffaloes. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And this game is in the books, as it is Watanabe who has gone down on strikes. He's gone for out number 3. Lions go in order here in inning number 9. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Your final score is a 4-1 ball game. Stick around, everybody. I'm going to get the feed up here for the Buffaloes and the Marines, and we'll give you a little bit of that game here before I call it a night. Sounds like Tyler has already given you guys the cue. It is the Marines have the bases loaded with 1 out. Hang tight, everybody. I'm going to put the music on here, and we'll come back in a minute or so once I can get that all set up. Bonus baseball in just a moment. Your final score again, the Eagles 4, the Lions 1. We'll give you some Buffaloes and some Marines when we come back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We got some bonus coverage of the Buffaloes and the Marines, and it was a 2-0 ball game when we picked it up in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Neftali Soto is up with the bases loaded, and he chopped a seeing eye single under the glove of the Buffaloes' third baseman into left field. It has cashed a pair of Marines in, and they have now evened the score at 2s. They've got runners at first and second. They're about to make a pitching change, and Gregory Polanco is standing in on deck. So we are going to try to pick up some of that for you here in just a couple moments, as we will be back in a moment with that call. So it is 2-2 Marines and the Buffaloes. That game is in the bottom half of inning number 6, and they are still threatening. But we'll be right back after this. So hang tight, everybody. We appreciate you guys for listening in here with us. We got some bonus baseball for you, as it is bonus coverage of the Buffaloes and Marines, bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you there. And Tyler says you missed the call. Let's go Marines. They're back alive. Well, we saw it all in front of us, but that's the way she goes. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. We have ourselves a pitching change. We'll get that for you when we return.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Gregory Polanco coming to the plate. It is runners at first and second here for the Marines as they are batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Buffaloes just gave up a couple of runs as that is now even the score. Anderson Espinoza has been chased from the ball game as we are getting ourselves a little bit caught up to speed here. It is going to be a right-hander coming into the ball game. For the Buffaloes, this is going to be number 66 as he'll be taking over, and it is going to be Hiroshi. Well, he goes by the one name, so the right-hander here is just completing his warm-up tosses. And Gregory Polanco will be coming to the dish. Yudai Fujioka is the runner at second. The runner at first is Neftali Soto. It is now a 2-2 game between the Marines and the Buffaloes. So that is where we stand right now. So Hiroshi is just completing his warm-up tosses as we will be resuming the action here in just a moment. So far for the Buffaloes, 2 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They had scored a pair of runs in the top of the 6th, and the Marines have responded with their fair share in the bottom half of the 6th. They've only got 4 hits in this game, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Espinoza was doing pretty good up until this half inning. That's the frustrating part. There's currently only 1 out here as Polanco steps to the plate, as he is hunting for a hit. We don't have his game totals so far, but we can tell you this, as he takes a first pitch breaking ball inside, and the count is quickly 1-0, so he's in a good hitter's position here. Polanco on the season entering tonight's game was 4 for 15. He was hitting .267 entering the fray. Had no homers and a couple RBIs. The big fella here looking to launch his first home run of the season. This would be a timely fashion. So here we go as the right-hander Hiroshi delivers. It's a breaking ball, take it for a called strike, and the count now is even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the 6th inning. As I said, I'll stick around for a few minutes here to do it. Give you some bonus coverage. We are going to be calling it a night here shortly. So unfortunately for Tyler, I can't do the late night stuff here the next couple of nights, but we will probably be in the midweek of next week giving us some late night baseball. So if you're on the 3rd shift or the 1st shift, depending on what they call it, hopefully you can join us. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Polanco. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Hiroshi getting his sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. I didn't see if that was Wakatsuki behind the plate. And that's exactly who it is tonight for the Buffaloes. A little bit of a different lineup than they had the other night. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball just misses down. It's now 3-1 to Polanco. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Tyler says, I'm back on weekdays, so I'll get what I can. It's all good. We're glad you could make it in here with us tonight. That is for certain. And everybody else who tuned into the channel as well. So here comes the 3-1 pitch as Hiroshi ready to deliver. And he kicks and he fires to Polanco. It's a fastball swung on. It's popped up over on the left side of the infield. And it is the infield fly rule that's in effect. And Yuma Mune is going to haul that one in. And that is going to retire Polanco, as he is going to be gone for the second out of the inning. And that's going to leave it all up here in the batting order to the catcher, Toshiya Sato. We'll just confirm that it is going to be Sato who is still going to come to hit. Yep, Sato coming into the dish. So Sato, 1 for 14 on the season. He's got a homer and a couple RBIs, off to a slow start, batting .071. Our friend Josh Yaskovich in the house. Kevin says, thank you for your commentary. We appreciate you, Kevin, for popping in. As we have put up our schedule, we'll be on for the weekend here. There's a breaking ball ticket for a call strike. It'll be Carp and Bay Stars. Those will be the Saturday and Sunday games in Japan. It'll be Friday and Saturday late night in North America. Tyler says it's harder to know the team lineups with and being the foreign names is sounding similar. As having less teams help with knowing the lineups. Yeah, for sure. You can track and follow the teams. The smaller the league, the easier it is. Josh says, didn't comment earlier, but he's been in the house. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted into left field. Backpedaling and making the catch is the left fielder for the Buffaloes. And that would be Nishikawa. And that is going to do it, as it's going to be 2-2 as they're going to go to the seventh inning. Well, it is a brand new ball game between the Marines and the Buffaloes. Buffaloes struck for first blood in the top of the sixth, scoring a pair, and the Marines come back right back with two of their own. As they respond, we are going to be going to the seventh inning, but we're going to do a little quick recap of the game between the Eagles and the Marines. Our friend Josh, as he said, he didn't comment, but had been watching and listening, headed home to catch the next. Well, we appreciate you, Josh, as well, for popping in, as that is where we are at tonight. So the bonus coverage, 2-2 Marines Buffaloes as they go to the seventh. Once again, your final score here was the Eagles 4 and the Lions 1. The rundown on the game here tonight. It was the Lions who got things going in the fourth inning. They scored a run. It was Nishikawa who led off the inning with a single. After a couple of flyouts, Seiya Watanabe tripled home Nishikawa to give the Lions an early 1-0 lead. That's where it stood until the sixth inning, when the Eagles stuck 3 on the board as they sent the first 5 hitters to the plate without getting out. It was the relief pitcher Hada had come in. He walked the first batter. Then it was a single to Tatsumi and a double by Abe, knocking in a run. Made the scoreline 1-0. Then Hideto Asamura came up to the plate. He singled home a run. That made the scoreline 2-0. And then it was Yuki Ito stepping to the plate, and he singled home a run. That made the scoreline 3-0. And that is where it was at the end of 6. The Eagles were able to add another run on the board in the 8th inning. With 1 out, it was a single off the bat of Muto, and then a RBI double off the bat of Mikael Franco brought Muto home, who had stole second base. That made the scoreline 4-1, and that is where it ended. The win in this one here tonight is going to be going to Takayuki Kishi, as he will pick up the win. It is going to be Norimoto picking up the save. The loss is going to go to Shinsuke Hara, who came on in relief for the Lions. Well, that is it for us tonight, everybody. It is going to be Shota Suzuki. If you're watching the game with the Marines, he's going to be taking over on the mound as they go to the 7th inning. But we are calling it a night. We got to get some sleep and get up in the morning early. But once again, we appreciate you guys for hanging with us here on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Have a great night, everybody. We will catch you on the weekend. Carp and Bay Stars. We'll see you soon.